At night, a small ship is docked, with a few men standing and talking with their boss. There are many barrels filled with dead bodies, each barrel containing a single dead person. It's said that the deaths are evaluated like this, with some entering coffins and others into urns. The mafia boss is inquiring about the number of dead bodies. One of his men replies that it's 33 in total. The boss orders them to finish this work before sunrise. Someone is thinking about who evaluated his life. The boss smokes his cigarette while his men add chemicals to the barrels to dispose of the bodies. The mafia boss remains relaxed, tossing his cigarette into the sea. Again, a person is thinking about his past life and what kind of life he had led. One of the dead bodies in the barrels seems to be alive, wondering if they will enter this place. Meanwhile, a security officer informs his team members about a woman named Snow White. The officer points at her picture and tells them she is their target. One of his team members asks why she is called Snow White, since she isn't Caucasian and just looks like a typical Asian woman. Also, she seems too weak to be a target. The team leader, Kim Soo-hyuk, explains that they can't judge her based on race or gender because she is really a dangerous woman. Her name is Anna Nanayama, also known as Snow White, and she is the leader of the Yakuza. The reason she is called Snow White is that she is the main supplier of drugs like pure cocaine, which is why she got that name. She is scheduled to hold a drug party at a hotel with minimal security after meeting with domestic and international factions. To prevent the spread of illegal drugs domestically, this opportunity must be used to eliminate her. She is also known for drugging and abusing innocent girls. The officer informs his team that since it will be disguised as an organization conflict, firearms are not permitted. The officer laughs, saying this mission is a bit rough, which is why they've assigned him as their top agent. His name is Soo-hyuk, the team leader. One of the team members taunts him by saying that he only trusts him as their team leader. Soo-hyuk confidently replies that they should leave this mission to him. Right now, our protagonist enters the hotel, where many Yakuza members are standing. These Yakuza wonder what he is doing there and how he managed to get in. He connects with his team members, informing them that Alpha is entering. Suddenly, he pulls out his large knife and starts running toward the Yakuza members. The Yakuza also pull out their knives and attack our hero, engaging in a knife combat. Soo-hyuk cuts the throat of one Yakuza and then attacks the remaining Yakuza, killing them one by one. Soo-hyuk remembers when his officer informed him that approximately 10 non-combatants need to be eliminated, and there are estimated to be over 20 combatants. When asked how many agents he needed for the entry, he replies that he only needs 3 agents, including himself. His officer is confused, wondering why he is going in with only 3 agents. Soo-hyuk explains that there are 3 exits, so it can't be helped. It's an extermination operation after all, and it doesn't really matter how many Yakuza there are. Our protagonist holds a knife, stained with blood, in his hand, saying that no one can defeat his brothers. One of his brothers informs him that it's too easy because he has already killed many Yakuza on his side of the entrance. The hero introduces himself as an NIS black agent, one of the elite survivors from Hell. Soo-hyuk warns his brother to focus on the mission, which his brother replies to positively. Soo-hyuk and his 2 members approach the main target. He informs his team that everyone else will be under the influence of drugs and that there is only one exit here. Soo-hyuk orders his team to block the exit and kill them all. As he opens the door, he witnesses Snow White abusing a girl. All 3 of them are shocked to see this. As they enter the room, they are stunned to find that everyone is already dead. There are dead bodies lying all over the room. Soo-hyuk orders his men to find the target but first close the entrance and lock the door. Suddenly, someone knocks on the door. Wondering who it is, they are shocked to hear that it's Snow White. She informs them that the entrance is closed and the door is locked. Snow White is holding the head of the poor girl in her hand, wondering if she should kill them all. Soo-hyuk's dead body in the barrel is thinking about what his brothers had escaped with. These were the ones who thought they were the strongest, but are now facing death. But now they are facing Snow White. Snow White smiles at them and suddenly points at one of his brothers, throwing something very small at him. As he wonders what it is, the small object goes straight through his forehead, killing him on the spot. Along with that, she also throws the head of the dead girl. This attack is so fast that no one is able to move their feet. It went through his head like a bullet, and in the blink of an eye, he is lying dead on the floor. Soo-hyuk's second brother gets very angry and attacks Snow White, but Soo-hyuk warns him to stop because their opponent is not ordinary. Snow White throws the same small thing at him, and all Soo-hyuk can see is a hole in his second brother's head as he falls dead to the floor. Snow White laughs at them, saying no matter how many bugs gather, they are still just bugs to her. She challenges our hero, asking what he thinks he can do. First, he gets very angry, pulls his knife at her, and decides to attack her. But then he realizes he needs to think calmly because that entity is beyond his capabilities. He thinks that he can't go back like this now. She throws the same tiny thing at him again, which he avoids, surprised to see that it's actually a tooth she is throwing at him. He notices she's holding many teeth in her hand. She keeps throwing these teeth at him, but our hero keeps dodging them with his speed. When he gets close to her, before he can do any harm, she grabs him by his face and throws him far away from her. Suyuk thinks it's impossible for a woman to possess such powers and wonders what kind of power that is. Suddenly, she jumps in the air while holding his knife and lands right on top of his knees, causing extreme pain. While sitting on top of him, she tells him she really likes him. He excites her even more. She puts the knife through his hand, leaving him very helpless. Snow White tells him that his helplessness makes it even more fun for her. She rotates the knife, which is still in his hand. Our hero screams in pain, wondering what kind of fun she is talking about. She points toward the dead bodies and tells him that this scene and taking lives just for fun is her idea of amusement. Suyuk wonders if that's what she calls fun. He screams in pain, but suddenly he bites her neck with all his strength and rips a small chunk of flesh from it. After that, he takes a sharp piece of broken glass and drives it into her neck, causing a lot of blood to pour out. Our hero is happy that he finally killed her, and she lies motionless on top of him. He thinks his revenge is successful and that he has survived alone. He talks to his brothers, apologizing but saying he will soon join them. But to his surprise, she regains consciousness. Suyuk wonders how the hell that's possible and screams loudly. Snow White tells him that even though he's human, biting her neck was impressive. Scared, Suyuk wonders what the hell she is as he panics. She informs him not to try to understand, as it's pointless for him. She tells him he is the first one she has met like this, and that she hoped he would manage to do this. She pushes the knife deeper into his hand, causing him great pain, and our protagonist passes out from the extreme agony. Snow White is still sitting on top of him, calling him pathetic. Now, all the remaining members of the Yakuza enter the room and inquire about her safety. She looks at them and kills the first one by throwing the same tooth at his head. The other members stand, scared and silent. She orders the remaining Yakuza to clear the bodies, and they will return to Japan. Right now, Suyuk is standing in his barrel, completely naked and covered with chemicals, looking at the sky. He thinks that they said death forms evaluate life. One Yakuza member looks at him and tells his partner, wondering why this is happening. The other one wonders what's going on, but their boss laughs and tells them to look at this guy, not to worry, because he is sure he's dead. One of them wonders if this is rigor mortis or something because he's never seen anything like this before, and wonders what kind of grudge would make someone do this. Our protagonist wonders what will happen if he refuses to die. Their boss puts his burning cigarette on his neck and orders his men to hurry and bury him so he can rest in peace. Suyuk wonders what kind of evaluation he will receive. Suddenly, the wound on his neck, where the cigarette burned him, completely heals, which surprises the boss. They wonder about it, and Suyuk continues to think about the evaluation of his death. The Yakuza boss wonders if he survived, but Suyuk thinks he will receive his evaluation after he avenges that jerk. He remembers the time when he and his two brothers were in a hotel room, informing each other about their availability. First, Alpha informs that he is clear, and then Charlie. Suyun is ordering that all field team members approach the main target and that they will all be under the influence of drugs. He is also informing them that there is only one exit, and they should block it and kill them all. He stands alone in the hall, wondering where everyone has gone. Suddenly, someone grabs his mouth from behind. It's a giant, monstrous Snow White figure with countless hands, and all her hands are grabbing him from behind. She informs him that he has succeeded. The protagonist tries to escape her grip, and she tells him that he is welcome. She laughs and says that he is the Daywalker. Suddenly, Suyuk opens his eyes in the barrel, the sun shining on his face, and the ship sailing in the sea. He wonders about the pain in his head. He is completely naked, his body covered in blood, and he wonders what he was doing. To his surprise, when he looks around, he finds many dead bodies of Yakuza members. He thinks about what the hell this is and who did it. Suddenly, a young man calls him by his name and introduces himself as being from headquarters. He informs him to come with them. At this moment, they are traveling in a car, and he inquires from them about what happened on the ship. The officer informs him that they are investigating that as well. The officer also wonders, having heard that he completed the mission, and asks if he is not tired. He answers that he is fine, and the officer informs him that the travel time is not short, so at least get some sleep during the journey. As he says that, Suyuk notices that he is wearing a gas mask. Suddenly, they release toxic gas from the car's air conditioning. The hero wonders what these guys are. Both officers sitting in the front seats are wearing gas masks, and the protagonist begins losing consciousness. One of the officers informs the director that they have secured the specimen. On the other side, the director is laughing and informing his officers that good work has been done and to transport it to the lab. He also says that they will start with the dissection immediately. The director is standing near his table, laughing like a psychopath, saying that finally he has got it. That thing. He thinks about Snow White. Soon, the car reaches headquarters. The director informs the researchers to gather around and quickly move it from the car because there are so many experiments to be conducted. As the researchers open the trunk of the car, they get scared to see the dead bodies of two officers. As the researchers wonder about it, suddenly a giant tooth comes from the window of the car and kills one of them on the spot. In the blink of an eye, all the researchers and agents begin falling dead on the ground one by one, all of them getting hit on their heads and dying. The director wonders what is happening as all his team members are dead. He questions how in the world this happened. The car doors open, and the protagonist comes out of the car. The director is scared as he looks at him. He starts running for his life, yelling for all units to eliminate that man. On the other side, Suyok is reloading his gun. In a short while, many agents start running toward him, holding knives in their hands. But he starts shooting them in their heads one by one. One by one, they start falling down. One of the agents manages to come close to him and attacks him with his knife, but he shoots him in the arm and then blows off his head with a single shot. At this point, more agents are attacking him with knives, and he is dodging them easily. First, he kills one agent and stabs another one. After killing him, he shoots the other one as well. But suddenly, an agent from a little distance manages to shoot him in the head. Shortly after, the agent informs the director that they have subdued him. All the remaining agents come close to his dead body while our protagonist is lying dead on the ground. These agents are armed with guns. When they get close to Suyok, he suddenly pulls his gun and shoots two of them immediately. The other agent shouts that he definitely shot him in the head and wonders why he is not dead and still moving. In the meantime, our protagonist grabs that agent by his neck while the agent is screaming and begging for mercy. After killing him, our protagonist thinks that he and his team dedicated their entire lives to the country, while the director is running away and screaming for help. He remembers when he killed two agents in the car and read the message from the director to kill him. He thinks that they have sacrificed them for their own achievement. He is looking at the director, who is running away from him. He thinks that he will show the director just how vicious the dog he abandoned can be. He walks away from the parking lot where he killed countless agents. Suyok thinks that maybe twice or even 3 times he died. He has no idea what's happening to his body. But what is certain is that as an agent, he gathers information and eliminates enemies. The director begs him to calm down, saying he'll explain everything, that there were circumstances, and that he'll help with Suyok's next promotion. He begs him to put the gun down. While saying all this, our protagonist shoots him in the leg. The director continues begging, asking Suyok to wait just a moment and listen to him. Our hero replies, telling him to shut up and answer the question. At this point, Suyok wants to know what the director did to him. The director explains that it seems there's been some misunderstanding, but Suyok should listen to what he wants to say. Suddenly, our hero shoots him in the other leg. He orders the director to cut the useless talk. The director explains that even if he dies, he comes back to life and his wounds heal quickly, and some of Snow White's subordinates were the same. Those guys reached the top of Japan despite being a new force, probably thanks to that technology. The director says they wanted to obtain that technology as well. Suyok wonders why the director sent those agents. The director explains that, instead of getting any information, they all ended up dead, so the plan was revised. Not with those mediocre agents. They decided to send a reliable one, which is why Suyok was chosen. The director continues, saying that just as Snow White entered Korea, she brought that technology. From this point forward, even with dangerous missions, Suyok won't have to worry about injuries. He has worked hard as team leader, and the director calls him a hero. But our hero shoots him in the arm. The director yells that he's told everything, so why is he shooting him? Suyok wonders about the director calling him a hero when he was planning to use him as a test subject. Did he even know about that jerk? If there were continuous casualties, he should have gathered more information. They all died because of the director's greed. Suyok is sure his colleagues could have been saved. The director explains that let's say he has some strange abilities, and those Yakuza assholes are just people too. He says he wouldn't lose to people. He wonders if it's not Suyok's job. They only died because they were on a mission with a death wish. The director says they even gave them medals when they died. So why is Suyok causing a fuss? He calls Suyok a bastard in anger. But Suyok also gets angry and hits his head with his gun, telling him it's enough and to not say another word. He pulls out his knife and tells the director to feel the pain the agents experienced. He says the night is awfully long while moving closer to the director. The director begs, almost crying, telling him to wait. Suddenly, 4 cars arrive at the location, and they order Suyok to drop his weapon and surrender immediately. The director yells at his agents, asking why it took them all that time to come after calling them. 14 Special Forces commandos come out of their vehicles and take their positions against Suyok. Our hero thinks this is dangerous and he needs to find cover quickly, so he starts running. The commandos open fire, hitting him several times, and he falls to the ground. The leader of the commandos orders them to cease fire. The director mocks Suyok, saying that looking all high and mighty serves him right. He says he just needs to be tied up for life and give them his blood gladly. The director wonders if Suyok can't resurrect and heal wounds too, then he should just keep pounding away. Whether it's him or the Yakuza, they'll overpower with firepower. The director mockingly laughs at him, saying that Suyok has worked hard. Suddenly, the director hears a woman's voice. She's looking down from the roof at them, wondering if that's Suyok. He recognizes her as squad leader Ayaka. She informs him that this is the Yakuza he just mentioned. The director shouts to kill that jerk too. She jumps behind the commandos, and they wonder when that happened. As they turn, she starts cutting them down one by one. She cuts down half of them and jumps back to the roof. The leader of the commandos orders his team to fire at once. She's so fast that she cuts their bullets with her sword, which surprises them. With lightning speed, she starts cutting down the remaining team members, and in the blink of an eye, she kills most of them. From a distance, a sniper takes a shot at her. She sees the bullet coming, and she cuts the bullet in half. The last two commandos discuss with each other, wondering what kind of monster she is, since she not only blocked the bullets, but also cut them down. Suddenly, with incredible speed, she jumps at them, killing one, and then cutting down the second one. At this point, she walks toward the director with a sword in each hand. She walks toward him under the moonlight, both swords shining. The director calls her a monster over and over again. But in the blink of an eye, she cuts his head in two. She stands in front of our protagonist, and he's just waking up. She wonders if he is Suyok. She informs him that Lady Anna asked for him to be brought to her. Our hero, still angry, tells her to piss off and calls her a whore. At this point, the female Yakuza informs him that it wasn't to bring him in, but to bring him to her, saying it in a threatening voice. She suddenly attacks our hero, which he stops with his knife. She tells him that he is very impressive. Suyun wonders if he has lost too much blood, and the longer this drags on, the worse it gets. At this moment, she is attacking him again, and he wonders if this is the only way. She strikes him once more with her two swords, informing him that he held out for a long time, but this is the end for him, as she continues her relentless attack. Finally, she penetrates his chest with her sword. After looking at the sword lodged in him, he grabs her hand, pulls the sword out of his chest, and attacks her with his knife. This time, both fall away from each other, but he manages to cut her head off. Our protagonist thinks that this time, he definitely cut Snow White's head off. He manages to cut her head off, but at the same time, she manages to cut his arm off. Still, he says that he won. He feels his mind fading, and he's dying again. Suddenly, the headless body of the attacker stands up again, and she says that he is impressive. Our hero is speechless and scared upon seeing this. He quietly stares at her headless body as she simply puts her head back on her neck, and very strangely, her neck repairs itself. Then she tells him that Lady Anna would find this desirable. Suyok worries because his body is not moving. She stands on his chest and places her sword on his chest, informing him that he has done well. When he wakes up, he will be in front of Lady Anna. He is scared and just stares at her. She simply puts her sword in his chest and stands there, saying that he should be more docile by this point because his blood supply has been cut off, and he is still conscious. He should return before it's too late. She places her hand on him, and very strangely, he manages to stand up. She tells him that struggling is pointless, but Suyok tries to punch her. At this moment, she cuts her remaining hand off and calls him foolish, informing him that at this rate, all his limbs will be cut off. She is surprised to see that his one arm grows back, and he punches her with it. Shortly after, his second arm grows back, and this time his arms are very strong and muscular. With a single attack, he rips off her skin from her arm. She thinks that it's regenerating again at super speed. He attacks her with incredible speed. This time, he bites her arms, and his bite is so strong that she has to cut her arms off to free herself from him. She grows her arms back with some magic, but he is still holding her arm in his teeth like an animal. Then, she thinks that at this rate, she will lose everything. She jumps into the air and attacks him, but she is surprised to see that his teeth are sharp and very large, and he howls like a wolf. His body is so big and strong that his shirt rips apart from him. She wonders what on earth that is. Suddenly, a bullet hits him in the head. As she tries to grasp what is happening, a few men appear, holding guns in their hands. Among them, a woman steps forward and remarks that Father in heaven, they are sending these two up. The woman who is fighting with our protagonist is scared to see that woman, and men are calling them bastards. The beautiful woman who just arrived with her soldiers is ordering them to shoot both of them. They start shooting at their legs because she ordered them to aim for their legs. Both fall to the ground as their legs are wounded. At that moment, she orders her soldiers to stop, and she points at our protagonist, commanding them to burn him. The soldiers shoot arrows at him, which are connected with wires. These arrows penetrate his chest and arms, and they start giving him electric shocks. The female attacker observes that the sun is rising, and with the rays of the sun, her skin starts burning. The female leader of the armed men wonders if it's painful for her, and informs her that the hellfire will be twice as hot. The one-armed female says that she's making such a fuss over it and calls them mere humans. The female leader tells her not to look down on humans. crushes her wrist with her foot, and breaks it. The female attacker starts screaming in pain. The lady boss wonders what she is saying and calls her a half-wit, informing her that she will die by her hands today, and soon her friends will too. At that moment, she wonders about her team members and what they are doing with our protagonist. They inform her that he is still standing after being hit by that. She says no more than that, and wonders why he is unaffected under the sun. The lady killer thinks that this is her chance to get away from here, so she jumps and runs away. The lady boss wonders if he used up his remaining blood, and even so, under the sun. If she chases right away, one of her gunmen wonders why didn't this bastard die. Our hero suddenly jumps and attacks one of the gunmen, but the lady boss quickly cuts off his arm with her sword. She orders her team to retreat from here, understanding that this one seems more dangerous. She attacks him again with her sword, but he stops it with his arm. She wonders how tough this one is. His arm grows back again. He throws a punch at her but doesn't hit her. She is surprised to see it and is happy that it's a good thing she didn't finish off that guy earlier. At this point, she punches him with some magical powers that show fire coming out of her hand, and that fire goes right through his chest. He falls far away from there. She wonders how a guy like him is bound to stand out and where he has been hiding all this time, so they haven't seen him until this moment. There is smoke everywhere, but she looks at him drinking blood from the neck of the director. She is surprised to see that he's sucking blood during the battle. After drinking the blood, he becomes stronger, and he now looks at her with extreme anger. After that, he starts shouting very loudly. The lady boss tells him that he must be finished here. She's getting ready for one final attack on him as she holds her sword with both hands, and her sword starts glowing with fire. As she starts charging towards him, she notices that suddenly he falls to the ground and passes out from weakness. When he falls, he breaks the floor under him. She wonders what this is. Our protagonist hears someone calling his name, Team Leader Suyok, repeatedly. He opens his eyes and wonders about that voice. He looks at the person, and it's his commander. His commander asks if Team Leader Suyok is conscious. The lady boss is also there staring at him. Suyok asks about the identity of the lady boss, but finds out that he is chained to a pillar. He wonders about his condition. The lady boss informs Suyok to listen to her carefully. After considering his conduct, they have decided to kill him because he is a vampire. He is surprised and looks at the lady boss, wondering what she is talking about. Our protagonist wonders why she is calling him a vampire, and he tells her not to make him laugh, as there's no such thing. She comes close to him, holds his face in her hands, and wonders if she really has any idea. He guesses what she's doing to him. She bites her finger and draws a few drops of blood from it. After seeing the blood, he starts feeling thirsty. His teeth begin to grow, and veins start pumping. His eyes turn red as he focuses on the drop of blood. The only thing on his mind is that he wants to drink that blood. He stares at her like a crazy person. At this moment, she asks him if he believes it now. Our protagonist inquires what just happened. The commander tells her that he can't believe it, but it seems true. He also got a video of him rampaging on the ship, and the bodies were exactly as the person described. Suyok asks if he's saying that he did that. The lady boss explains that issuing a removal mission without knowing what Anna is, and it's true when these guys are reckless. Suyok wonders if they found out that Anna is a vampire, and something even the National Intelligence Service doesn't know. The lady boss confirms that, of course, killing vampires is the job of her Vatican squad. She puts her feet on his chest and informs him that, according to the rules, they should have killed him too, but she will give him a special chance to become her dog. Suyok is surprised to hear that. She continues that from what she's heard, they have a common enemy. So, let's not waste their strength on each other and kill Anna together. At that moment, in a multi-story building, Snow White says that some are taking over the cartel and absorbing the mafia, so why can't anyone catch a single bug? She grabs the lady attacker by her neck, and the attacker begs for mercy, saying sorry to her. Snow White already cut off her body into several pieces. Snow White explains that, as expected, she should not have entrusted it to her. She then pulls off her mask, kisses her on the lips, and transfers some of her blood into her mouth. After receiving her blood, her body starts growing back, and within a few seconds, her body fully regenerates. At this point, she's sitting in front of Snow White on her knees. Snow White warns her that this is her last chance and orders her to bring her. The lady attacker leaves the building, and while walking on the street, another girl looks at her from the roof of the building. She's sitting on the roof like a cat. Our protagonist is traveling in a car with the lady boss and a driver. He thinks about her warning that he just has to choose whether to die as a vampire from her hands or become her dog and work to kill Anna together. He also remembers the advice of his commander to be careful, and no matter what, the agent he killed was from the director's faction. They have no chance but to target him as well. His expression says it all. The lady boss inquires if it's hard to believe that he's a vampire. Suyok asks her why she brought him here. She explains that if it wasn't for her, all the factions would have targeted him. In that case, she suggests, isn't it better to take revenge together? At this point, the hero asks if she can trust him, to which she responds without hesitation that of course not at all. And the enemy of her enemy is her ally. For now, that's enough. She informs him that they're at the main base of the squad, and it's a sanctum. He asks if it's not just a cathedral, to which she replies affirmatively. He mentions that this way, it seems more natural. He looks at the building, still wondering if they were supposed to return. She clarifies that this isn't their destination. Moreover, since the sanctum is protected by sacred artifacts, he can't enter it. At that moment he wonders what's next. She replies that even if he becomes a member of the squad, right now, he's just prey for Anna. Therefore, she has classified him as a special case and decided to manage him herself. In other words, he'll have to live with her. Right now the lady boss is informing him that this is a hotel affiliated with the squad. It provides the location and leaves no records. At this moment, she thinks that they haven't even properly introduced themselves. She is a member of the Vatican Secret Squad, and her name is Mirror. Our protagonist introduces himself as Kim Soo-hyuk. Mirror is curious, thinking that he probably has a lot of questions and allows him to ask anything. He's curious about vampires. She wonders if he's accepted it, and at that point, she starts explaining. As long as they keep consuming human blood, vampires will never die. They possess physical abilities that surpass those of humans, and some vampires also have unique abilities. Most of these abilities are made from the blood of ancient vampires. Currently, Anna is the only remaining one. Soo-hyuk suddenly remembers the time when he bit Anna's neck, and some of her blood went into his mouth. He wants to know from Mirror how they kill them. She explains that vampires burn to death when exposed to sunlight, except for him. That's probably why Anna is targeting him. However, by turning that point to his advantage, they can create an opportunity to confront Anna. To do that, he needs to get stronger, and she will help with that. She asks him if he understands why she brought him here. He replies that he understands very clearly. She fears him, and without the constraint of the sun, he could become the worst vampire. Leaving him alone is dangerous, and killing him means losing a lot of potential. So, using the public enemy as a pretext to monitor him and remove him if deemed dangerous is the plan. In any case, she has nothing to lose. She smiles at him, wondering if he's not the top agent for nothing. In the end, he is still a vampire, and it's just part of doing his job as a squad member. She continues, saying that it's also true that they want to kill Anna, and for that, they intend to make him stronger. If he has any complaints, he can feel free to speak up any time. Soo-hyuk informs her that he has already died several times. As long as he can kill Anna, he doesn't care about anything else. He has the intention of submitting easily. Mirror thinks that he revealed his true intentions without hiding anything, yet he is still willing to follow. Is he trying to say that his goal is nothing but revenge? After all, she really likes his boldness. She also thinks it will be enjoyable to tame him. Finally, she informs him that with the introductions complete, it's time to eat. She offers her neck for him to bite. The protagonist wonders what she really means by biting her neck suddenly. She taunts him, reminding him that whether he likes it or not, he is a vampire too. Normally, a lack of blood would stop his movements, but he seems to be frenziedly seeking blood in a unique way. She's curious if he would also refuse to kill innocent people. He stands up from his chair and starts walking toward her. Mirror continues offering her neck, mentioning that her neck is cramping. She urges him to hurry up and drink. After some hesitation, he bites her neck and starts sucking blood from it. His eyes turn red. She wonders if the blood is coming in and repeatedly tells him to drink more and more, offering to let him drink it all. Suddenly, he recalls Anna's words, when she remarked that, as expected, he is an interesting one. Remembering that, he stops sucking blood and pushes Mirror away from him. She goes straight to her bed and lies down for a few seconds. Soo-hyuk wonders if the impulse for blood is the vampire's instinct. She informs him that he'll be busy starting tomorrow, so it's better to sleep quickly. She warns him that if he slacks off, she'll kill him. He looks at her and questions whether he will have to drink blood like this every day. All of this is for revenge. Even if his body has become a vampire, his heart won't. He remembers his two brothers who were killed by Snow White. Soo-hyuk is confident that he'll surely send that jerk to hell. Our hero also lies down just next to Mirror and sleeps. As both sleep very peacefully, Mirror wakes up and wonders why he's lying next to her. She is wondering the reason why he is lying right next to her, and he notices that there is another room right in front of him and did not mention that there is a bed over there. And yet he is lying right next to her. It's unbelievable for her. And as a saint, sharing a bed with a man is a bit improper, and she is thinking that she did not know he was like that. And what a lecherous guy, and what kind of lascivious thoughts. First, she keeps staring at him. Then she closes her eyes and keeps telling herself that she needs to calm her mind. She finally starts praying to their Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, and lead us not into temptation. Suddenly his hand falls right on her belly, and she gets scared. She is trying her best to control her impulses and wondering what will happen next. Today in the staff room, Soo-hyuk and Mirror are standing face to face, and she is informing him that she will explain how to kill a vampire. And as he already knows, ordinary weapons won't work on vampires. There are only two effective ways to eliminate them. One is sunlight, and the other is silver. Even touching silver can cause burning pain, and using silver weapons to decapitate or stab the heart will deliver a fatal blow and kill the vampire. Now, she is reminding him that back then, the lady attacker did not die. And other than that, vampires can't be destroyed. And does he have any questions before they begin the training? He is wondering that she said that Mirror is her name, and he is sorry about the last night in his sleep. Suddenly, she gets very angry and throws a punch at him, which he stops with both hands. And he is wondering what on earth she is doing. She is very angry and warning him to cut the nonsense and should have the basics down. So let's begin immediately. And what he needs is combat experience with non-human entities. And through future duels, he will grow stronger as a Special Forces member and simultaneously. And he should gain strength as a vampire through blood. And if he understands, suddenly Mirror again jumps at him and throws a punch at him and orders him to get in line. But he stops her punch very easily. He taunts her that there is no human stronger than vampires. This time he throws a punch at her, which she dodges very easily. But this time she connects a fast punch to his chin. This time, she did not stop and kept throwing punches at him and throws him down to the ground and informs him that no matter how hard the road is, she will endure. He gets up and informs her that he survived even in hell because he is a black agent. They keep on training, and after several months of training, now he is making progress. And he is taking shape. But it's still far from enough. Suddenly, an agent enters the room, and Mirror wants to know what's the matter all of a sudden. The agent apologizes for the interruption while she is busy, but it seems she needs to go to the sanctum immediately. She is wondering why the sanctum. She confirms to him that she understands and she will prepare right away. And she informs him that she will be back soon, so stay here, to which he replies positively. Now she is walking towards the sanctum and wondering why they are calling for her at the sanctum. She is complaining to her officer about it, but he replies that he doesn't have access to the details. She is suspecting that she has a rough idea about the entity that can call her in this manner. A car arrives, and she is informing him that it must be them who have arrived. It's a black Mercedes-Benz, and they left in that car. That strange girl is still sitting on the roof of a high building like a cat and watching their car. After looking at the car for a short while, she confirms that now she got them, and her eyes are glowing like electric lights. She is calling the name of Kim Soo-hyuk. Mirror is informing her colleague that there is only one entity that can call her in that manner, and she knows it because she is Bishop Mirror. Now she is wondering, from a superior officer, what brings him to Sanctum, as it is an envoy directly from the Vatican. That person is informing her that it is an honor to meet her, and he is thanking her for her hard work. They are always grateful for her. He wants to skip the formalities and get straight to the point. He wants to know if she has brought in a vampire. She is surprised to see that they already know about it. Inside a huge hotel building, many people are sitting in the reception area. The receptionist is welcoming a person. That person wants to check in, and the receptionist is requesting his ID and inquiring how many people are in his party. He is informing him that they have quite a large group. Actually, they have 200 people. As the receptionist wonders about that number of people, suddenly, he takes out his knife and kills him. Now people present in the reception area start panicking and running away from there. The security in charge is ordering his team members that he will take care of it, and those 2 guards should handle the evacuation of civilians and report to the control room. Someone is informing the team leader to wish him good luck handling this alone. He is surprised to hear that voice and turns back to see the person. He notices that 2 black cars are coming straight toward the hotel gate, and these cars break the glass door and enter the hotel reception. From these cars, many Yakuza members are coming out, holding large knives in their hands. Now only 3 agents are facing these countless Yakuza. The agents are calling these Yakuza bastards, asking how dare they come here. The leader stabs one Yakuza in his chest and puts a large cut on it, but to his surprise, the cut heals itself very quickly. The Yakuza kills him with a single swing of his knife. The Yakuza is saying to him that hiding in a place like this and joining forces with the Vatican scum is a betrayal of brothers. They are looking for Soo-hyuk, and their leader is informing them that he must be somewhere around here. If it's him who administered that, there should not be any problem. All these Yakuza are vampires. Now the lady Yakuza is ordering these men to bring him, and all the Yakuza start running toward the rooms. She is talking with a vampire girl and informing her that she has worked hard searching too, and ordering her to destroy the control room and then join her. The vampire girl is wondering when, after this is over, they are going to eat until they are stuffed. That vampire girl is the squad leader, sir, of the Nanayama Yakuza, and her name is Coco. When she gets the confirmation, she becomes very happy. Now she is moving toward the control room. It's very surprising that Coco is walking like a cat on her arms and legs. The lady Yakuza leader is in the elevator and thinking about Mirror, that she left her post as well, and the only ones left here are the small fry. Just in case, the Lady Yakuza brought along subordinates who have used that, and there is no way they can fail. But when she reaches the 18th floor, she gets shocked to see that all her men are killed. She is wondering how these men are already defeated. She is curious if there is any high-level bishop there. If not, as she is thinking about it, she suddenly hears someone say to her that it's been a while. As she turns back to see that person, she gets surprised to see Suyok, who is asking her if she was looking for him. In the meantime, that man in the church is asking Mirror what she has brought in a vampire in the Vatican squad. He is also informing Mirror that he doesn't doubt her judgment, and he will hear the details at the next bishop's meeting, but he hopes that she understands what she is doing. She replies positively. She is explaining that after closely monitoring for the past 3 months, there were no factors that posed a threat, and he has diligently undergone the Vatican's training. She also includes that whether he will lead them to ruin or salvation, she doesn't know either, but she has seen it. In the hotel building, Suyok is informing the Lady Yakuza that it's a relief for him because he has been looking for her too. He is saying that a vampire with red eyes, standing in the radiant light. He wants to settle this today. The Lady Yakuza is angry and says that it's insane. She draws her sword at him and attacks, but to her surprise, he is too strong for her as he stops her attack like it's nothing. She's curious to know what he's been doing all this time to become this strong. Suyok warns her that he will return her words exactly as she said them, and she's helped out for a long time. He grabs her by the neck, throws her to the ground, and sits on top of her, informing her that this is the end for her at this point. She's scared to death while he stops his knife right in front of her eye. She's curious to know why the attack stopped. Her body is shivering and not moving. She wonders what's happening to her. And suddenly, a woman with 2 very large snakes enters the room, wondering if he is Suyok. Actually, she is squad leader 5 of the Nazayama Yakuza, and her name is Katerina. He's curious to know if it's that woman's ability. The Lady Yakuza tells Katerina to hurry up and subdue him, but Katerina isn't in any hurry. She tells her to calm down and says there's no need to tell her what to do, as one of her snakes moves towards our hero. She's planning to do that anyway. One of her snakes wraps its body around the Lady Yakuza, and she is very scared. Our hero wonders if she's here to help the Lady Yakuza. The Lady Yakuza wonders what Katerina is doing, and Katerina informs her that it's because she wanted to do it. Katerina calls him an unbreakable toy. At this point, Katerina thinks about all the young men she's killed. No matter how handsome a human is, in the end, they either die or become ugly. So she always wanted a male vampire, and she didn't expect to see one this soon. Katerina orders Suyok to come toward her, and he realizes that his body is moving on its own. He wonders if it's a controlling ability. She makes him grab her breast and orders him to be a slave, moving according to her will forever. The Lady Yakuza calls Katerina a whore, warning her that Lady Anna will not allow such a thing. Katerina informs her that she already did, and if they secure Suyok, it won't matter. She also informs her that Lady Anna ordered to eliminate her and her useless friend. The Lady Yakuza is very sad to hear that because she and Lady Anna are lovers. Right this moment, both the Lady Yakuza and Suyok are in Katerina's snake grip. Katerina wonders if she's faint and how something so simple dragged on for months. She held out for a long time with her useless talent and worked very hard. She says her final goodbye to the Lady Yakuza as her snake is about to eat her alive. Suddenly, Coco enters the room and informs the Lady Yakuza that she has done everything. After seeing Ayaka in that condition, Coco gets very sad and asks what's wrong. Katerina points at Suyok, saying that this bastard did that. The innocent Coco gets very angry at him and starts shouting at him. Our hero thinks that the enemies have increased, and just dealing with this woman is overwhelming. Katerina informs him that he doesn't have to worry because they've secured him and can return to Lady Anna. The innocent-minded Coco is still wondering if this guy did this to Ayaka. Katerina informs her that yes, he did it. Coco gets angry at him but can smell Katerina's poison on Ayaka. At this point, Katerina is a little surprised. In a jail cell, a very young girl is saying that she is very scared and wants to go home. She is calling for her mommy. Another child is lying down on the ground and looks unconscious. A very young Coco is introducing herself to that child and wants to know her name. It's Ayaka, who is remembering when she met Coco for the first time. At this moment, Ayaka wants to know from Suyok if he is awake and wondering if she can still move. He is not surprised that she still can't move. She is wondering if ultra-speed recovery is really that different. She wants to know about Coco. He informs her that the situation is not good. She is scared to know that Coco attacks at Cartina's snakes and fights well with them, but the compatibility is poor because of the snakes and poison. They can't even get close to that whore, and the speed is slowing down due to exhaustion. Ayaka informs him that if this continues, she will die, and they have to save her. He tells her that with her body, she would just be a burden. Ayaka gets angry and calls him an asshole. At this point, he wants her to share some information with him about that snake whore. He suggests that if it's her and her friend with him, they can win. Ayaka is curious if he wants to team up with them, and wasn't he trying to kill her just before? But she also understands that right now it's the best option for them. But she informs him that he shouldn't be ridiculous. How can she trust him? Suyok wonders what she wants to do next. He pulls his knife on her, and Ayaka becomes very scared. At this moment, Katrina is thinking that she is using more power than she expects, and wanting too much of her blood, especially on this unexpected fool. She also wonders why on earth she hasn't been poisoned yet. There's no way this jerk can detoxify her poison. She's too clueless. Coco is still fighting Katrina's snakes. Katrina is surprised to realize that Coco is just holding her breath the entire time. Finally, Coco attacks her, pulls in the air, and throws her out of the window. Then Coco starts breathing again, admitting that she would have been dead if the fight had lasted much longer. She asks Ayaka if she's okay and where she is. Eventually, she finds her, but after all her effort, she collapses to the ground. She notices a tiny snake biting her leg, feeling the poison spreading through her body. She wonders if she is underestimating her opponent too much. Suddenly, Katrina returns through the broken window and mockingly asks if Coco is saying something. Both of them are close now. Katrina finds it very interesting and decides that she will make sure Coco and her friend, whom she is desperately searching for, stay together forever. She transforms into a huge snake and declares that Coco will end up inside her dear monster's stomach. Just as the snake is about to consume Coco, Ayaka suddenly appears and cuts off the snake's head. Coco feels immense relief and happiness to see Ayaka again. Katrina is shocked to see that Ayaka detoxifies herself, knowing that only Ayaka and she possess the ability to neutralize the poison. She wonders how Ayaka manages to do it. Ayaka recalls the moment when she asks Suyok if he wants to team up, questioning how she can trust him when he just tries to kill her. He responds that if that is how she feels, then it can't be helped. He then takes his knife and cuts his own hand. Ayaka, confused, wonders what he is doing at that moment. Suyok explains that someone once said the enemy of his enemy is his ally, and for now, that is enough. He acknowledges that she must be furious and feel betrayed after giving her all and being on the verge of losing her friend. He understands her anger. At that point, Suyok instructs her to drink his blood. She suddenly remembers Coco as a child, offering her hand in friendship. At that moment, Suyok wonders if she has ever heard the saying that the most terrifying person is someone who has nothing to lose, and when faced with someone like that, it is inevitable. When Katrina dies, Ayaka and Suyok stand together. An agent runs toward Mirror, informing her of a very serious situation, that a large number of vampires have invaded the hotel. Mirror is shocked to hear this. Suyok runs toward the snakes with a knife in his hands, and Ayaka informs him that she can transform her body into a snake and command other snakes. She warns him that if he is bitten by her snakes or inhales the venomous mist, his body will become paralyzed and easily controlled in a stiffened state. Fortunately, the venomous mist doesn't last long, and they need to close the gap between them and her. Our hero is cutting down the heads of her snakes, but there are too many of them. She keeps reproducing them endlessly. One snake takes his knife in her mouth, and he wonders if she's trying to take his silver knife away. Many snakes circle around him, about to attack. Suddenly, Ayaka jumps in, cutting the snakes with her sword. She tells him to pull himself together, saying he's going to die just because he lost the silver knife. She also informs him that she's using her powers by consuming blood, so the snakes won't grow indefinitely, but she plans to drain his stamina. She will deal with the snakes somehow, and in the meantime, he must go and help Coco. He moves toward Coco and informs her that they are temporary allies. He tells her that when he detoxifies her blood, she must support him and her friend. He puts some of his blood in her mouth and says this is the only way for everyone to survive. The blood gives her new life and a lot of energy. Suddenly, she jumps up, pushes our hero down and sits on him like a dog. Suyok wonders if she's being controlled, as he's sure the detox was done. She informs Ayaka that she has got Suyok. Ayaka responds that they are not enemies with him anymore, and they need to kill Katrina along with him. After hearing this, Coco stares at Suyok for a few seconds, then starts running toward the snakes like a cat. Katrina thinks that her plan to find Suyok using these two girls was perfect, but breaking down the poison and then using them after detoxification was also as she expected. She's determined to own Suyok. Meanwhile, Suyok is busy fighting her snakes and guiding the girls to continue fighting as they get closer to Katrina. They just have to push a little more. He shouts that the venomous mist is closing in, and everyone holds their breath, staying close. Ayaka tells them that the mist will clear up soon anyway, and the reason for the smokescreen is... Before she finishes, Suyok says that she must be planning to take out one of them. Ayaka replies that probably, excluding her, the target is either Ayaka because she's fast, or someone who fought alone and relies on Ayaka. Suddenly, Katrina appears right in front of Coco. She tells Coco how dare she lay hands on her body and that she will kill her first. Actually, her snakes bite Ayaka from all directions. Coco is worried about her. Our hero says he even anticipated her reaction, and if she targets Coco, then one of them is bound to get hit. He tells her to come quickly, and he'll share his blood with her before that whore comes, but she informs him that there's no need for that. He insists that time is of the essence and she better hurry. Our hero and Coco witness the snakes biting Ayaka all over her body. Suddenly she gets hit by a knife to her chest. Ayaka remembers when she was young, her mother telling her that she was sorry because she had to listen to what that man says from this point forward. Her mother sold her for drugs. That man introduced her to new friends. Actually, it was a red medicine, and by injecting that red medicine, he told her to be good friends with Red. During that process, she experienced a great amount of pain. It was their daily, repeating medication experiments. Because of these medicines, everyone started getting weirder and weirder, and one by one, they all died. It was so scary. But there was a time when she thought it would be better if she were the one to freeze to death right there. And when she was crying, she met Coco in the jail. She remembered how fascinating Coco was because she was the one who could smile in such a hell, and Ayaka laughed along with her. Every day felt like hell, but they could endure by relying on each other. Even the little happiness was short-lived. One day, the doctor orders his staff to isolate the subjects according to the dosage. He says that the control group should go to the left and the experimental group to the right, and they were separated. She remembers when they both were crying, looking at each other and calling each other's names. Ayaka is about to return her jacket, but Ayana tells her to keep wearing it, saying she will definitely come and find her. Coco becomes very happy after hearing that. A few years later, they transfer Ayaka to Coco's cell, and finally, she finds Coco again. She is so happy to find her alive. Ayaka informs Coco that she thought she would never see her again, but at that time, Coco is unable to recognize her. When Coco asks about Ayaka's identity, Ayaka tells her that she is someone who wants to be her friend. Coco is happy that she saved her. After that, she vows to protect her. Finally, they survive that hell. But they face a serious problem. One side is physically unstable, which is Ayaka, and the other side is mentally unstable, which is Coco. Both of them make a plan. They wonder what their difference is from humans and why they should be kept alive. They even consider whether they can just kill them. After escaping from there, another hell begins for them. Ayaka starts training to fight with a sword, thinking that she intended to die, and that if she didn't meet expectations, she could be discarded at any time. But as long as she could live with Coco, she shouldn't have left it to her. Can't she even catch a single bug? This is her last chance. The level of humiliation. She also remembers how Sayak fed her his blood to save her life, and how Lady Anna ripped apart her body just to shame her, and how it felt to be thrown out after giving them everything she had, and the frustration of losing a close friend. When Suyak offers her his own blood to drink and offers her the chance to live together and escape, she thinks that, for the first time, someone understands her, and it was him, her enemy. To survive, she stained her hands countless times, and even though she knew what was right, she couldn't do anything. But if it's him, at this point, she wants Suyak to listen to her very well. First, she tries to say something, but suddenly, she pulls him close to her and kisses him. Her body is cracking and falling apart, and she says thanks to Suyak. At this moment, she comforts Coco and tells her not to cry. She still remembers all the good memories with Coco. Ayaka says that they will always be together. As she says these words, her body starts disappearing in very small pieces, and within a few moments, she completely disappears. Coco is crying like a child, sitting next to her remaining clothes. Coco is calling Ayaka's name repeatedly, and she is crying. Katrina is smiling and saying, "Poor Ayaka," adding that she spent her whole life supporting her friend and ended up dying because of her. Katrina is taunting her, saying that at this point, she realizes this is all a futile resistance. She orders Coco to let's go to Anna, where she will be treated kindly. Unlike those guys, of course, by her. Suyak replies that he understands, and Katrina is surprised by his answer. Suyak completes his sentence by saying that he comprehends Ayaka. He says again that he knows what he needs to do. Annoyed, Katrina wonders if she's speaking to herself since no one is listening to her. Coco starts demanding from Katrina to bring Ayaka back, and while shouting these words, she suddenly attacks Katrina with her super speed. Coco jumps into the air and lands back on the ground, and her action creates a very bright light. Both Katrina and Suyak are surprised to see that. As they wonder what just happened, they find out that it's the Vatican people who have arrived. With them, Mirror is also present. Suyak informs her that Coco is not among the enemy, and that they are together. But he notices that a bullet just missed his head, and he wonders why they're shooting at him. A woman says there are really a lot of vampires and informs him that he doesn't have to worry about it because she will purify all of them. Her attack is filled with divine power, and even her eyes are pierced by the Holy Cross. She tells him that he's got some guts because they're attacking a hotel belonging to the Vatican squad. Katrina tells her that she's the one with guts because she has brought so many puppets for her. She starts releasing venom into the air, and Suyok warns everyone to hold their breath. If they inhale, they will either be paralyzed or become her slave. But the lady walks towards the venom with confidence. Our hero wonders how she is going to block this. The lady builds a magical wall in front of the snake. The snake cannot enter that wall, and the lady is very happy with that. Afterward, she throws a magical ball at the snake, cutting off its head. Coco and Suyok are holding their breaths, witnessing all this, and wondering how she can handle those snakes so easily. At this point, the lady asks them what's next. They're curious about how strong she is. Our hero notices that the snake jerk has disappeared, and there are no poisonous clouds aside from the snake's head. The lady is sad because she has no idea where Katrina went. She asks her team members where she could have gone. They reply that they have no idea. One of her team members calms her down. The Lady Bishop is crying that only the head of the snake is left. Suyok informs her that it's because she cut it off, and it's possible that Katrina has hidden and escaped in the snake's head. Now she understands and thanks him. Our hero suggests that they need to chase after her quickly. The Lady Bishop points toward Coco and Suyok and orders her team to shoot them first. Quickly, Suyok grabs Coco and starts running away from there. Her team starts shooting at them. She informs Suyok that she'll send him off without pain since he's a good vampire. Our hero quickly hides behind a wall with Coco and informs them that he is not an enemy and that he is allied with Mirror. The Lady Bishop, who is about to attack him, informs him that the Vatican does not negotiate with vampires. Besides, saying that he is allied with Sister Mirror is quite ridiculous, and she attacks them with her magical powers. Suyok understands now that this hasn't been shared within the Vatican yet, and he wonders how he can avoid friction. Suyok tries to prove it to her by referencing room number 1701. The lady wonders what that's about all of a sudden because it's the same room where she is living with Mirror. After hearing that, she naturalizes her weapon and gets very shocked to know that Mirror is living with a man. At this point, she's curious to know for how long and since when they've been living together. Suyok informs her that today, Mirror is wearing black underwear. The Lady Bishop is extremely shocked to hear that. In the meantime, a car stops in front of the hotel building, and Mirror comes out of the car. She is wondering why these two cars of her agents are there. When she realizes that they are here for the vampires, she starts running into the building. While running, she is cursing the vampires, saying that they are taking advantage of her absence. If she lets them take Suyok like this, then it's over. When she reaches inside, she inquires from Suyok if she heard a vampire came here, and what is going on at this moment. After entering the hall, she finds Suyok and Coco standing on one side, and the Lady Bishop is standing near them, completely lost. The only thing she is saying is that this is ridiculous. Mirror is curious about what she means by that. They are in room number 1701. She is informing her that the Yakuza and 3 vampire leaders barged in, and one of the leaders got killed after they split up. One ran away and the other was captured. Mirror confirms that they really dodged a bullet this time, and if Suyok had fallen into Anna's hands, it would have been a disaster. He is informing her that they figured out when she would be absent and came to this place. It means their information network is no joke, and this hotel is not safe anymore. Mirror admits that for sure, they need to move locations, and they can't be apart for even a moment. At this point, Mirror and our hero are looking into each other's eyes, and that eye contact makes Mirror shy and she smiles. Suyok says that the guy who almost died, facing one vampire for the first time, and now went against 3 and is still alive. The combat training that goes beyond human strength and speed, and it's clear that he has gotten stronger through constant blood-sucking. Mirror confirms that even if he is a bit slow, if he keeps getting stronger like this, he will eventually be able to kill Anna. And anyway, from this point on, don't leave his post carelessly. Mirror is angry at him and asks if he would refuse to go if the higher-ups called for him. He is informing her that there is something she needs to know, and he has obtained some important information. She is curious to know about it. He is informing her that as a vampire, he knows the way he can become as fast and strong as Anna. She is shocked to know that. He explains to her that the 7th squad leader of Nanayama Yakuza, Ayaka, gave him this information. And she gave him this information right before her demise. Because the more blood a vampire consumes, the stronger they become. So, even if he gets stronger with the current method, it will still be impossible to fight against Anna. But if it's vampire blood, then that's a different story. Because by consuming a vampire's blood, he can steal the power they have accumulated, and if he meets certain conditions, he can also gain abilities. Mirror is curious because they cannot trust the source of the information. And what about the conditions for gaining those abilities are not clear. But Suyok is determined that it's definitely worth testing. And after actually drinking Ayaka's blood, the bullets just seemed to slow down, and he was able to use a new ability for a moment. And it is said that Anna has 7 vampires under her command. And at this point, he knows exactly what he needs to do. That he has to drink the blood of all of the vampires under Anna. Mirror understands this and wonders that he brought Coco for that reason. And Coco is also one of Anna's vampires, and it would not hurt to secure her for the time being. Coco is getting angry, and the Lady Bishop is telling her to say what she wants to say at this moment. Suyak is informing her that Coco has animosity towards Anna for killing her friend, so she might be useful on their side. Mirror is annoyed by him, and he is wondering if there is a problem with it. Mirror is informing him that there are quite a few because the Bishop's Council is about to be held. He is curious about the Bishop's Council. She is explaining that it's a meeting where the bishops of the Vatican gather, and they usually discuss the current situation regarding Anna's forces. But the topic of this meeting is Suyak, and since he was brought into the vampire hunting group, there are some folks who are not pleased. But he doesn't have to worry about it, because her position is not that bad. And as he said, she brought him here to keep an eye on him. But at this point, she thinks she can trust him a little. She starts opening her shirt and telling him that he has worked hard. She is offering her neck to suck blood as a reward and telling him to eat up. The Lady Bishop is listening to all this conversation and is shocked. She is sitting outside the room and is very angry as she cannot believe her ears. Suyak is telling her that she gives him this every day, and what did she mean by a reward? The Lady Bishop is wondering outside the room that she gives him that every day. Mirror is informing him that he has changed since the beginning, because at first, he struggled to hold back in excitement. But now, he seems to be doing it quite leisurely. And if it gets too hard in the middle, just let him know, he informs her. Outside the room, the Lady Bishop is shaking in fear by hearing that. At first, he struggled to hold back in excitement, but now he seems to be doing it quite leisurely. And Suyak is saying if it gets too hard in the middle, just let him know, Mirror. The Lady Bishop is imagining that both are having intercourse right now, and she is wondering what on earth is going on, Sister Mirror. At this moment, she hears Mirror telling him that earlier he said the more the better, so should he call Lucia too. He responds that first, they should ask for her opinion. At this point, Lucia is scared to death upon hearing that and is thinking that Mirror is saying she will call her. She is wondering why her, imagining herself and Mirror both having fun with Suyak at the same time. She is shaking just by imagining that she is doing it. At this point, the door opens, and Mirror comes out and asks Lucia if she perhaps, as she is about to say something, Lucia passes out on the floor. As Mirror comes out of the room, Lucia hugs her and informs her that she will see her at the bishop meeting. While hugging Mirror, Lucia looks at Suyak with very angry eyes. After that, she gets into her car quickly and disappears. He wonders what happened to her. Mirror informs him that Lucia has also left, and the problem is Coco. Coco is happy that she doesn't act so high and mighty just because she's a bishop. She's nothing at all. Coco orders Mirror to bring her fresh blood and a place to rest immediately, and then she'll gladly take her in as her subordinate. Otherwise, suddenly Suyak punches Coco and orders her to shut her mouth. Mirror wonders if this will really help them. He explains that, as he mentioned before, he needs vampire blood. If they consider her an enemy, draining her blood before she's eliminated is all there is to it. But if they keep her as an ally, she will continually ask for blood. Considering her detection ability to find him and her combat skills, she will definitely be helpful. Mirror agrees with him, but wonders if he can really control someone like this. Coco is scared, hiding behind Suyak's legs, curious because it's expected of the Vatican to be so violent. Mirror wonders why Coco is nice to him. He explains that he has no idea. He looks at Coco as she hides behind his legs, getting angry at Mirror. He thinks that he was consumed by rage when his comrades died and he killed the director and his team members who sacrificed themselves. Actually, he killed them all. This girl, who also lost a friend, is surely burning inside as well. He calls Coco by her name, and she starts looking at him with love and trust. He informs Coco that they will kill her master, Anna, and it would be nice to have her help in that process, but she's not absolutely necessary. She can either die as a vampire or take revenge for her friend together with them. At this point, Coco has to choose one option. After thinking for a few seconds, Coco replies that she hates Anna because Anna always made things difficult for Ayaka. She hates the Vatican even more because Mirror hurt Ayaka, but she can't forgive the one who killed Ayaka. If he kills that jerk Anna, she will do anything for him. Just then, Suyak is looking at Mirror for her response, and she agrees to him. She will have him and Coco talk at the bishop meeting together. They are now her responsibility, so if he goes out of control or harms anyone, he will be dealt with immediately. Mirror instantly regrets saying that. Inside the bathroom, Coco is taking a shower and shouting that if she tricked her, that Vatican jerk, how dare she subject her to this torture. Mirror is giving her a shower and commenting on the smell, wondering how long it has been since she last washed. Coco is shouting that she smells good, but Mirror taunts her, saying she must have a bad nose. Mirror is thinking that as someone who kills vampires, washing this dog is a bit too much for her. Suyak reminds her that he already mentioned needing vampire blood and tells her to think positively because all of this is unavoidable for the greater good. Inside the room, Suyak is cleaning his silver knife when Coco bursts out, running like a cat, completely nude. She complains to him that Mirror put poison in her eyes and begs him to save her. While Mirror drags Coco back to the bathroom, she asks him if he isn't coming over right away. Coco is still crying out for his help. Mirror orders Coco to keep her eyes closed and stay still. Suyak remembers his friends teasing him. They call him Hyung and ask if he is getting promoted. He responds by telling them to stop calling him that and to address him as team leader Suyak instead. They laugh at him, and he tells them to cut it out because it's cringy. They playfully ask for a treat, specifically beefsteak, calling him the only team leader during times like this. Suddenly their commander shows up, wanting to join the treat as well. His friends inform the commander that Suyak is treating them to beef. Suyak, still annoyed, reminds them that just because he is a team leader doesn't mean they should call him Hyung. The commander responds that once a Hyung, always a Hyung. Suyak reflects on how noisy those times used to be. Mirror is still handling Coco, telling her to rinse her mouth quickly and not eat anything in the bathroom. After finishing the shower, Mirror, exhausted, lies down on her bed, thinking that the situation is insane. Coco never listens to her but follows Suyak's orders obediently. When Suyak tells her to sit down, Coco obeys like a dog. She even puts on her clothes the moment he tells her to, and after that, he dries her hair. Mirror wonders if Coco is acting this way because she beat up her friend before. She also recalls Coco saying that she can't forgive the one who killed Ayaka, and that if they kill Anna, she will do anything for them. Mirror reflects on how losing something precious and being left alone in enemy territory must have made Coco so sensitive, realizing she should try to understand her. Suddenly waking up, Mirror finds Coco drinking blood from her hand. Confused, she wonders what Coco is doing. Coco casually replies that she is hungry. Mirror smiles at her, but in her other hand, she holds her sword. Suyak is asleep when he hears Coco's voice. She accuses Mirror of finally showing her true colors and calls her a Vatican jerk, claiming she cursed her to die before running out the door. He closes his eyes again, murmuring his thanks for Mirror's hard work. While he remains in deep sleep, Coco sits right on top of him, gazing at him with love and care, and declares to herself that he belongs to her now. It's early in the morning, and Suyak wakes up from deep sleep, only to find someone sleeping on top of him. When he lifts his blanket, he realizes it's Coco, sleeping like a child on him. He wonders why she is here. She replies that it's dangerous because of the sunlight. He wants Coco to wake up at this moment. He removes the blanket completely, still wondering what on earth she is doing all of a sudden. She refuses to move away from him, crying while calling out Ayaka's name. At this point, he understands her problem. He drank Ayaka's blood, and now he has her scent. That's why she followed his words so well. He understands how it feels to lose a precious companion, and he understands why she's crying for her. Coco is still holding him in bed and not letting him go. He remembers the time when his commander comforted him, saying it's okay, and he cried like a child. He tells Coco that everything is fine at this point. At this moment, inside the hotel's gymnasium, he and Mirror are practicing martial arts. When Mirror throws a very fast punch at him, he easily escapes it. She's surprised to see his speed. When he punches her, it hits her in the face. She tells him that he's suddenly improved. His reactions are definitely faster than before. She wants to know if it's because of Ayaka's blood. It's good, as she needs to use this to her advantage. He wonders what she means by that. She explains that today is the day of the Bishop Conference. His existence is still unofficial, but today will be the day to decide his official admission. If he is deemed unsuitable for this order, he wonders what will happen then. Mirror explains that he will be immediately executed. She puts her hand on his shoulder and comforts him, saying he doesn't have to worry because she believes he has enough potential to attract hidden vampires, as well as rapid growth to compete with the captains in a short period of time. These two things will help him contribute to the order. Since he will be the key to ending the crusade by killing Anna, she asks if he's not confident. He replies that he was strong enough even as a human. Now that he has learned how to grow stronger as a vampire, killing Anna is just a matter of time. There's a lot to do, so let's finish this Bishop Conference or whatever quickly. Mirror is very happy with his confidence. They are ready to enter the conference room. Our hero is thinking about Nanayama Anna, the squad leaders, and himself, who has become a vampire. He thinks about the Vatican and how they're all demons from the same hell. Whether the Vatican will use him or he will use the Vatican, he doesn't care either way. He's determined to take revenge on the woman who destroyed his life. He has secured 2 of the 7 leaders, and now he's only 5 steps away from Anna. He thinks he needs to drain all of them to grow. This is what he's thinking. At this moment, Anna is inquiring about the fight from Katrina. Katrina explains that Ayaka's death has been confirmed and Coco is likely with the Vatican. She further explains that she means with Suyak. Katrina confirms to Anna that things went just as planned. He's growing very well. Katrina also explains that he even dismantled her poison that had transformed. He will come to them without even needing to intervene. Anna orders her to just focus on the red thing until then. At the bishop conference, which will be held in the cathedral soon, Mirror explains this to Suyok. He wonders why this isn't the sanctum they were in last time. She explains that this is the cathedral under the Vatican. She shows him a map and explains that it serves as a regular cathedral while also collecting information, since he cannot enter the sanctum with the sacred artifacts. It was arranged to take place here just for him. Suyok appreciates that. He confirms that he understands her efforts, but asks if they really needed to go this far. The order instructed to keep him restrained just in case. He can't help that either. She explains that there will be bishops who are hostile to him, but he's still better than Coco. From a little distance, a man watches both of them and asks if that guy is her vampire. Mirror is welcoming Bishop Dominic and telling him that it's been a while since they last met. He is also asking about her wellness. Dominic is wondering if he is Suyok, the vampire who used to be a black agent and is presently trying to join the Vatican. Dominic expresses his happiness, calling it really great news. He is sure that Suyok will be a great asset to their combat strength, and she certainly found quite the talent. Mirror explains that during a mission, he fought evenly with those squad leaders. Dominic teases him by saying that it was with the weakest of the squad leaders, of course. As for him, he wants to burn all the vampires to death, and it's too bad that he wasn't there. He starts laughing at our hero. Suyok removes Dominic's hand from his shoulder. As Dominic is leaving, he informs him that it was nice meeting him, and that he'll see him later in the meeting room. He calls his assistant Hilda to go with him. Hilda tells Mirror that it's been a long time and she'll see her in the meeting room. Before leaving, Hilda stares at our hero with innocent eyes. After looking at him, she greets him as well. Suyok wonders if Hilda is truly a bishop. She informs him that it's a special case, so it's quite different from the usual structure. He must have sensed it too, but to most members of the Vatican, he's probably a thorn in their side. There are more people like Dominic, but some may be openly hostile. Suddenly Lucia enters and hugs Mirror, and Mirror wonders how Lucia is already here. It seems like she's seeing her more frequently these days. Lucia wonders if she enjoys it as well. Mirror replies that of course she is happy to see her. Lucia glares at Suyok angrily. Lucia is curious to know if Mirror has seen Lady Cecilia. She replies that she hasn't seen her yet. Lucia tells her that she thinks Mirror should be cautious of Lady Cecilia. Mirror asks why she is saying that. Lucia responds that she despises vampires more than anyone else, and no matter how much Suyok assists the Vatican, she will definitely oppose him strongly. Mirror thanks her for the warning but assures her there is no need to worry because, despite their frequent disagreements, she is still more than qualified as a bishop. Suddenly, Suyok informs Mirror that a fire is coming straight toward him. Mirror quickly strikes the fire with her sword and throws it far away. She wonders what the hell is going on. It's Cecilia, who declares that she is simply doing her duty as a bishop. She questions Mirror, asking if a bishop who protects people from vampires is now seriously protecting a vampire. She insists there is no need for a meeting and orders Mirror to leave him behind. As Cecilia prepares to attack Suyok again, Lucia interrupts her, explaining that they brought Suyok there under the Cardinal's command. Cecilia remains undeterred, insisting that she is only doing her job and ordering Mirror to step aside quietly. Lucia tries to reason with Lady Cecilia, but the lady's attention is fixed solely on Suyok, finding him fascinating. Mirror warns her that if she refuses to step aside, she will handle her personally. Cecilia lunges forward, reminding Mirror that she already warned her. Lucia prepares to assist, but Mirror tells her to stand down, assuring her that she can handle the situation and will do it her way. Now Lady Cecilia and Mirror stand face to face, just moments away from clashing. The fight begins, with Mirror wielding her sword while Cecilia uses her magical fists. Fire and smoke fill the air, making it difficult to see their movements. Lucia anxiously wonders if Mirror is holding up against her opponent. Suddenly, a female bishop arrives and demands to know the reason for the commotion. Mirror and Cecilia continue exchanging blows with their swords, but Mirror is surprised by how easily the other woman blocks her attacks. The newly arrived bishop, observing the fight, questions Cecilia about Mirror's identity, clearly intrigued. Without warning, all three female bishops lower themselves into deep bows and, in unison, greet Her Holiness. The figure they acknowledge is none other than the Cardinal herself, and her name is Helena. Cecilia apologizes for her earlier misbehavior. Helena dismisses it, saying it's fine and that she can roughly guess the reason behind her actions. She orders everyone to enter the meeting room. Mirror acknowledges the command, replying that she understands. Cecilia, however, warns Mirror to view this not as a meeting but as an execution trial, making it clear that if there is no valid reason, that man will die by her hands today. Lucia invites Mirror to join her in the meeting room. Mirror reminds herself to stay focused, knowing that if today's meeting goes wrong, both Suyok and Coco will die here. Inside the meeting room, Helena opens the session, officially beginning the proceedings. All 6 of them are seated at the table while Suyok stands before them. Helena greets everyone, mentioning that it has been a while and expressing her hope that they have all been well. Cecilia promptly requests to speak, catching Helena's attention. Helena wonders what she intends to say. Cecilia apologizes but insists on asking why a filthy vampire is present in such a sacred place. Mirror thinks that she went straight to the point. Helena explains that she is sure everyone was surprised by the agenda, and this matter is likely the primary concern of everyone present here today. Since they have all been briefed, she would like to hear each of their opinions. Cecilia blasts out that a vampire in the Vatican is absolutely unacceptable. Dominic informs them that he cannot trust them because they are too easily controlled by anger and desire. But Bishop Hilda replies that she is not sure. Cecilia wants to know from Lucia, and she hears that she has already met him. At the same time, Dominic gives a candy to Hilda and tells her to speak boldly. Hilda thanks him, just like a child. At this point, Lucia explains to Cecilia that the first time she met him was when Anna's team leader attacked the hotel. At that time, Suyak risked his life to defend the base, and he also helped the allied members who joined them. But since they hadn't received any information about him, they continued to attack him. Even though he had the ability to retaliate, he never fought back against them. Dominic is surprised to hear that. Lucia continues that moreover, Suyak is under Bishop Mirror's control. Lucia thinks that it makes sense since the two of them are lovers, but she doesn't say it in the meeting. And that concludes her statement. Suddenly her nose starts bleeding. Lastly, Helena wants to know from Bishop Mirror. She starts by saying that she believes in Suyak. Helena wants to know why she thinks he is necessary for the Vatican. Mirror replies that it's because she saw his revelation. Cecilia laughs and wonders what made her defend him. She is deeply disappointed by Mirror. She explains that the revelation shows two things: the birth of someone like them, the chosen ones, or the warning of an impending threat. And that revelation clearly means they must kill Suyak. Cecilia adds that this guy even mercilessly killed his own comrades. Suddenly, Suyak speaks, saying that those guys attacked him and his team. Cecilia shouts at him to shut up and gets ready to attack him. She informs him that scum like him has no right to speak. Our hero looks at Cecilia with angry eyes. Meanwhile, Coco wakes up in a cell and feels very hungry. All she can think about is wanting to drink blood. Mirror continues, saying that therefore it was Suyak who was actually betrayed. If not for him, the agents' lives would have continued to be sacrificed. Cecilia is still very angry and says that anyway, that guy is still a vampire. The will passed down from their ancestors is clear: the extermination of their kind. Mirror agrees with her, saying that to exterminate the vampires, they must deal with Anna and her vampires as well. She asks if there is anyone here who can make them come to them on their own. Mirror wonders from her team. The Vatican was established by St. Peter with a 2,000-year history, and thanks to the dedication and sacrifices of the members of the Vatican, only Anna remains of the ancient vampires. However, Anna cunningly hides in the shadows and expands her power while evading them, but suddenly those hiding have begun to emerge, just due to Suyak's appearance. Since his arrival, the 7th squad leader has been annihilated, and the 6th squad leaders joined them. Mirror continues, saying that everything that was stagnant is now moving quickly, and they now have a lead to end this game of tag that has lasted for 2,000 years in their generation. Cecilia is angry at Mirror and tells her that she's spouting nonsense. What about the 6th squad leaders joining them? Has she completely lost it? Cecilia wants the Cardinal to strip Mirror of her position and execute the two vampires immediately. Helena informs Mirror that it's quite a bold statement, but it is worth considering. Because of that man, Anna has shown her weakness for the first time, and perhaps this is an opportunity. She is thinking of forming an experimental unit. Cecilia is still trying to stop her. Helena continues that they cannot ignore legitimacy either. If more than half of the bishops agree, it will be implemented. Now Helena demands that those who support this decision must take responsibility for it. Mirror confirms that she understands. Cecilia punches the table and says that she can concede 100 times that Suyak is still acceptable, but the other one was Anna's subordinate, and that woman is absolutely unacceptable. Helena wonders if she has heard that Coco has low aggression and cannot be controlled, and says they'll see for themselves and judge. Helena orders to bring in the 6th squad leader, Coco. This is a big problem. A male bishop comes in running. Helena gets angry at him and starts asking him what he is doing during the meeting. He apologizes and warns her that it's urgent. Helena is curious about what's going on. The man shouts that the vampire known as the 6th squad leader, Coco, has escaped. Everyone is shocked to hear that Coco has escaped. Cecilia taunts Mirror for Coco's escape. Mirror informs them that catching her is the priority, and soon she realizes it's still daytime. Dominic replies that if she escaped from the basement, it would be a disaster. Mirror thinks that the places she would head to are either the orphanage at the cathedral. She imagines a child waking up to use the toilet, and when he opens the door, Coco is already standing there, waiting for him. Dominic shouts for the children, Suddenly, the girl bishop informs him to wait a minute. She is in the process of concentrating on something. Suyak observes her as her eyes begin to glow like lights, and the atmosphere around her changes. Dominic tells her to calm down, assuring her that her siblings will be fine. If she doesn't control her emotions, he finds out that it's already too late. Suddenly, electric currents start circling around them. Everyone thinks it's about to come out. Lucia tells everyone to be careful. Suyak shouts, calling out to Mirror and warning that it's on her side. Suddenly, a sword falls from the sky and Lucia is worried about Mirror. Helena is also curious about Mirror's safety. The sword slightly cuts Mirror's arm, injuring her, and her arm begins to bleed. Mirror thanks Helena for helping her and saving her life. Lucia runs toward Mirror, inquiring about her arm. Helena orders Lucia to go to the orphanage first, and she replies positively. Helena orders Dominic to take care of Bishop Hilda because, since Bishop Dominic is usually well trusted, it should be possible. Helena informs them that the rest will head to the orphanage, and if that vampire causes any trouble, she will hold Mirror accountable accordingly. Mirror replies positively. Cecilia runs toward the director's office, saying that she knew this would happen because she is a vampire at the level of a sect leader from the Nanayama Yakuza, and her true nature won't change. If anything happens, it's all because of Mirror. Suddenly, she sees Lucia standing in front of a door. Cecilia wonders why they're in a hurry and what she's doing there. After reaching the orphanage room, Cecilia is shocked to see that all the children in the orphanage are dead, and she wonders if it's already too late. Cecilia starts shouting at the vampire, demanding to know what it has done. But as she enters the children's room, she is surprised to find Coco playing with a child, who is happily riding on her back. Another child informs Cecilia that if she wants a turn, she must get in line. Realizing that it was all her imagination, Cecilia sees that all the children are alive and happy with Coco. After witnessing this scene, Cecilia wonders if that thing is really a squad leader. Mirror comes running into the room, immediately asking Coco what she is doing with the children. Upon noticing the blood on Mirror's arm, Coco becomes overly excited and eagerly requests just a sip of it, but Mirror refuses her without hesitation. Cecilia firmly tells Mirror that she is well aware. This is clearly the vampire itself. Despite Mirror's rejection, Coco continues to plead for a sip of blood, but Mirror stops her sharply, questioning her actions. Undeterred, Cecilia remains resolute in her decision to eliminate Coco. She orders Mirror to get away from Coco, and Coco wonders what she means by that. Coco informs her that Suyak told her not to drink the blood of others. Cecilia is surprised to see that she is under control, even though she is a vampire. Mirror wonders if only her blood is allowed for her. As Cecilia is about to attack Coco, suddenly Dominic holds her hand and informs her that the children are watching and that she must withdraw her powers. Hilda rushes in, curious about the safety of the children. The children are very happy to see Hilda, calling her name. She informs the kids that she is glad they are safe and asks about their well-being. The children inform her that Coco played with them, and they had fun. Right then, Mirror warns Coco to wait a second, but Coco insists that she doesn't want to wait anymore. The children point at Coco, saying that with her red eyes, she played with them, even letting them ride on her back, and they had a lot of fun playing together. Hilda gets emotional and starts crying while looking at Coco. Hilda quickly hugs Mirror and says sorry to her. She apologizes to Mirror because she got hurt because of her. Mirror comforts her by saying that she was just worried about her siblings, and it was not intentional, so it's okay. Hilda thanks Coco as well. While Coco is still requesting just one sip of blood from Mirror, Suyak enters the room, punches her head, and warns her that it's enough. In the meeting room, Helena informs them that the results are in, and it has been confirmed that those two vampires can be controlled with the majority of the bishops agreeing. They will proceed to operate an experimental unit that includes vampires. She inquires from her team if there is any dissent. Cecilia informs that there is none. Helena confirms the decision and removes Suyak's handcuffs. But Coco is still trying to take a sip of blood from Mirror's arm. Helena continues, saying that Mirror is hereby appointed as the squad leader of the team. And finally, Helena announces that with this, the bishop meeting is concluded. Hilda informs Mirror that she will see her next time. While leaving, Lucia tells her that she has injuries, so she shouldn't push herself and should contact her if she needs help. Mirror thanks her, and Lucia says that if the vampires act up, to let her know, and she'll fly right over to take care of it. Mirror tells her that it's all right. Lucia warns her to be careful. From a little distance, Cecilia calls out Mirror's name, and both wonder what she wants at this point. Cecilia reminds her that the true mission of their crusade is to save people from vampires. If the time comes when those scum violate that noble mission, she will annihilate them all to fulfill her duties. As she leaves, she warns Mirror to watch over them well. At present, in Vladivostok, Russia, men are drinking in a bar. A person enters and goes to the counter. He tells an old man that it's been a while, Ivan. Ivan informs him that he needs his help. The old man tells him that he only contacts him at times like this, and it's a bit disappointing. By the way, he asks if he hasn't forgotten that he's the one who gouged his eye out. This old man is Ivan, and he's the mafia boss. Ivan continues that he will never forget the day he lost his boss and his eye to him. 4 men from Ivan's gang put guns to the young man's head. Ivan is curious to know what guts he has coming to find him. The old man calls Suyak's name. He inquires from Suyak why he came to Russia. He remembers when Dominic informed them that it looks like they need to go to Russia because recently the Yakuza, who raided a hotel, showed signs of being vampires. So they performed autopsies, but contrary to expectations, they were all humans. A peculiar detail, however, was that drugs, seemingly related to abilities, were detected in their bodies. A month ago, the Russian branch was wiped out by the mafia, and the same drug was detected in the mafia's bodies back then too. The activities of the Nanayama Yakuza in Russia have been tracked as well, and an investigation into Anna and the drug is necessary. He has secured a place to stay so the mission can begin immediately. In the Crusade Alliance affiliate hotel, Vladivostok branch, Mirror is sitting on the sofa, and Coco is sitting on the floor like a cat right in front of Mirror. Suyak enters the room. Mirror asks him why he looks so clean, as she thought he would be back after causing a big commotion. He informs her that he has received the location of Nanayama's hideout. He already has planned the operation and will explain it right away, so she should make sure to understand. Mirror wonders how he gouged out his eye and yet gave up the information so easily. Suyak asks if she wants him to hit that business, doesn't she? The Nanayama Yakuza and Ivan are hostile forces. He continues that she should listen carefully, and after explaining his plan, she is delighted, saying that as expected from a top agent. She agrees to go along with the plan and asks what her part in it will be. She also wants to know if there was no other plan. He explains that this is the best course of action given the current situation. Mirror is not happy with her disguise, as she's wearing a wig and lenses. Suyak, looking very handsome, explains to her that it's essential for their squad, which is composed of vampires, to disguise themselves. So, does she want to go in a priest's robe while holding a great sword to a club? And considering her injuries, this was the best option. Mirror is very annoyed by her disguise. She explains that she can accept the lenses and wig, but her dress is too short and her undergarments are visible. At the entrance of the nightclub, a guard stops them and inquires about Coco's outfit, as she is wearing casual clothes, sunglasses, and slippers. The guard informs them that it makes her entry difficult according to the regulations. Mirror asks Suyak what the guard is saying, as she doesn't understand Russian. Suddenly, Coco opens her shirt zip and shows her cleavage. After seeing it, the guard allows them to enter. Mirror is surprised. Suyak confirms that everyone entered and hopes that each of them carries out their assigned task. As of this moment, the operation begins. Mirror is surprised to see the inside of the club. Men and women are engaging in degenerate activities. Mirror is upset and angrily calls them corrupted bastards. She wonders how she is supposed to blend in and what exactly she should do next. As these thoughts race through her mind, a sudden touch on her shoulder startles her. Without thinking, she shouts in surprise, invoking the name of Jesus Christ. A man stands behind her, greeting her with a smooth, "Hello, beautiful," which catches her off guard. The unexpected sound of English from him only adds to her surprise. He asks if they have a room and if she wants to come there. As Mirror wonders what to do, the man grabs her by the hand and starts dragging her to the room. She shouts at him not to touch her. On the other side, Suyak is walking in the corridors, wondering why there is no need to deploy a lot of troops, yet he can't even see a single ant. While walking, he reaches a dead end and finds out that there's no one until they reach the deepest point. He notices someone standing right behind him. When he turns back, there are a lot of men staring at him. He understands that it's a trap. Behind those men, Ivan is standing. Ivan informs him that he has been waiting for this day. Lady Katrina promised him that if he gives him to her, she will let him be the boss here in return. He warns Suyak that it would be best if he follows quietly. Ivan warns him that everyone here is equipped with silver ammo and not to worry about his girlfriend, because they have planned to give her drugs in her drink and then assault her. Ivan hopes that they must have already started the operation, and he is done. But before handing him over to Katrina, they still have something to settle. Ivan brings out his knife and wants to destroy his remaining eye. Suyak remembers when he informed Mirror that he received the location of the Nanayama Yakuza's business. She warns him that he was the one who cut his eye, and yet he gave him the information so easily. They want them to raid the place. Nanayama Yakuza and Ivan are hostile forces. Suyak understands that they would want them to think that way, and if they pretend to be deceived and go there, it will only lead to a trap where they will corner them and declare, without hesitation, that they're done. Suyak is happy that thankfully they followed his plan. Ivan is curious about what he just said. Our hero thinks that when he was assigned the mission to eliminate Anna, he did some research on them. He finds out that when they distribute their goods, they don't collaborate with other existing forces. Rather, they just absorb them. Their goods were being traded in their area. Ivan wonders if this bastard knew everything. from his organization being swallowed by Nanayama Yakuza. Ivan is worried that Suyak still can kill them. Ivan orders his men to turn that bastard into a beehive. The mafia members start shooting at him, and he runs towards Ivan and his men. Ivan, noticing he is planning to attack directly, gets scared. The whole path is littered with silver bullets, and if they land even a single shot and slow him down, Ivan notices that Suyak is deflecting the bullets with his knife. In the blink of an eye, he manages to reach his men and starts killing them one by one. Meanwhile, Coco is dancing on the dance floor, and everyone's watching her. After killing all the mafia men, Suyak informs Coco that it's time to move. He orders her to follow the smell of Mirror's blood. She jumps from the dance floor and starts running toward Mirror. Ivan warns him that he made a mistake. Ivan, who is sitting next to a wall, injured, and all his men dead, informs Suyak that it looks like he is trying to figure out what they plan to do after kidnapping women. Sending a comrade, especially a woman, right into the enemy's territory? Ivan calls him an idiot. She wouldn't know what they do before the supply. No matter what they do, by this point, his girlfriend should be unconscious, completely overwhelmed with cuteness. Suyak shoots Ivan in the shoulder and warns him, reminding him not to forget who he is and questioning if he is truly calm. This is not the time to worry about others, he says, assuring Ivan that there is no need to be concerned about her. The ones he should really be worried about are his own subordinates. When one of Ivan's men tries to touch her hand, she immediately breaks his hand and takes down all the men attempting to drag her to the room. The men standing outside the club quickly realize it's an ambush and shout to warn their friends to get down, but it's actually Mirror who attacks them. With powerful kicks, she effortlessly throws the men aside. There's something shiny on her heel, and she is killing them with ease. She recalls what Suyak told her during the planning, warning her that those bastards would use tricks to make her lose consciousness. Her job is to pretend to fall for it, allowing them to move her body to the real business location. At that point, Coco will track her down, and she simply needs to wait for him there. She also remembers asking how he could be so sure they would approach her. In response, he told her there was something she needed to wear, leaving her with no words to argue. After moving this much, she is already bleeding, and his warning echoes in her mind. To remember she is wounded, not to overdo it, and to wait patiently. Mirror wonders if the lack of signals is because they are underground. According to Suyak's plan, her task is to wait. Amidst the silence, she clearly hears someone say that this is the last one. They said last. There are definitely those who were captured before her, and they might be going through something horrible right now. She says sorry to Suyak because she remembers Cecilia's words. The true mission of their core is to save people from vampires, even if there's hell down there. She has to go save the people. So she starts walking toward the secret room downstairs, thinking that because she's a part of the Vatican, she'll help other people. She wonders why they are kidnapping so many people. Several vehicles leave the club, but only a few have arrived here. She concludes that means there must be more places where they're sending the kidnapped people. What is their purpose? Why are there operating rooms in multiple prisons? And why is no one here? Suddenly she finds a red test tube filled with blood written on it. She finds it very interesting. Katrina appears and asks how she got here. All the human women should have been placed in coffins by this point. Katrina wonders who she is as she stands just behind Mirror. Mirror is wondering how she was caught from behind without a sound, and this one is definitely the leader of the Nanayama Yakuza. She questions again who she is, to run into the leader at this moment when Mirror is unarmed and injured. She starts praying that, oh God, even if her life ends according to his will, let her fulfill her duty until her last breath. At this point, she is informing Katrina that she is a bishop of the Vatican's Special Task Force, and her name is Mirror. Katrina recognizes her and brings out her snakes, and she remembers that Mirror is the one who was hugging Suyak. Mirror is thinking that if she dies, then Suyak should take care of the rest. Mirror attacks Katrina. At the same time, Coco finds Mirror's scent and points out that it's right under their feet. Suyak understands that this is their real base. If he can just meet up with Mirror, Coco informs him that she is not sure from here on. He wonders from Coco if she can't smell her blood. She informs him that it's quite the opposite. Coco points at the door and tells him that behind that door, there is an overwhelming smell of blood. It's too much blood. And what are they up to? He finds Mirror's phone on the floor. He received her voice message, which says that sorry for going against the plan, but it seems there are hostages, so she had to move, and the task force's mission is to save people from vampires. And saving people comes before their own lives or the task force's. So she hopes he will carry out his mission without fail. As his comrade, she believes in him. He informs Coco to move quickly. Coco is worried and tells him that they need to meet up with Mirror. Suyak is wondering what's wrong with Coco. Coco points out that here is the same smell as when they met Red. He is shocked that there is a vampire. She means the leader is here. Suyak wonders from Coco how many are there. He also wants to know if that one is the leader. Coco replies to him that she doesn't know. He can see that Coco is showing sudden panic symptoms of anxiety, and these are typical signs of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. He informs her that he can't delay any longer. He is thinking that he doesn't know what is down there, but Mirror is in danger. Something is off because this facility shows no signs of recent use. Coco is very scared and holding his arm, telling him that they should go back and she doesn't like it here. He is telling Coco to hang in there a bit longer, and he will get the kidnapped people and Mirror out. It will be tough, but she should try to keep detecting. Suddenly he finds some bloodstains on the floor. He understands that this is a sign of someone being dragged, and there are no signs of resistance, which means drugged hostages. He is telling Coco if they follow this, they will find the people, and just hang on a little more. They will be out soon. Coco warns him that it's Mirror's blood. Suyuk understands that it means she has been caught. Both start running toward Mirror. He is thinking, did she run into the leader? He told her not to push herself with that injury. He is praying that she be safe. He pulls his gun out, and when he enters the room, he gets surprised to see that there are many women trapped inside large glass jars filled with liquid. He is wondering about this place. He wonders, what the hell are they doing here? Are they conducting human experiments? And why on earth are they injecting the red stuff into these girls? Coco informs him that it hurts Ayaka, and she hated the red stuff too. He is curious to know if this is where Ayaka and Coco were given the drugs. At this point he gets it. So these bastards are kidnapping people and experimenting on them to create vampires. And that drug being injected is probably the one they have been looking for. If they rescue everyone and investigate this facility, they might find out what these guys are after. But first they need to find Mirror quickly. He orders Coco to keep looking for Mirror. Suddenly, he hears Katrina's voice, and she is saying that speaking of Mirror, maybe she's talking about her, as she is holding her up in the air with her snake. He pulls his gun on Katrina and demands to know from her what the hell she has done to Mirror. Katrina wants him to calm down because she has no plan to kill her yet. She explains to him that what she wants is not this girl's body, and she will contact him when she is ready to swap her body with his. He yells at her not to spout nonsense. Katrina warns him that they will meet again anyway, so don't follow her. And why doesn't he try saving them instead? Katrina says that since this location has been exposed, the death squad will come, and they have done all they need from here, so she is going to blow this facility sky high. She says that it's a shame, but she will see him next time. Suyuk wants her to wait for him. He tells Coco to snap out of it, and she is smelling it. He says that if he chases after her at this point, he might be able to save Mirror. But even if he saves Mirror later, she doesn't plan on killing her just yet, and she will contact him when she is ready to swap with his body. He remembers these words of Katrina, and he thinks that these people will definitely die if he doesn't save them right away. It's time for him to make a decision. He suddenly remembers Mirror's message that the Death Squad's mission is to save people from vampires, and saving people comes before her own life or the squad's, so she hopes he will definitely fulfill her mission too. She believes in him. He is very angry and starts breaking all the glass containers, but suddenly a huge blast happens in the hall. Our hero is sitting next to a wall, thinking about Mirror and how sorry he is for her. He's very sad that Katrina managed to take Mirror with her, and now he has to save the other girls. It was a close call, and he's upset because they couldn't save anyone except one girl. He remembers that she was the only one who was looking at him from the glass container, and her eyes were red. Only she survived among the test subjects. When the blast happened, all the girls got injured, but she was the only one who recovered from her wounds quickly, and he understands that she successfully became a vampire. The girl wakes up and thanks him, but she requests that he please kill her because she was a nun serving God, and now her body has been defiled. She remembers that Suyuk dropped his blood in her mouth to wake her up, and she says that if she has to live by drinking someone's blood, she doesn't want to live. She starts begging him. He informs her that they protect everyone from vampires, and they don't kill victims. At that moment, she understands. Suddenly, she takes a piece of broken glass and tries to put it in her heart. He thinks that it must be confusing to suddenly become a vampire overnight. He was there too. He talks to her while holding her hands, stopping her from killing herself. When he became a vampire, a member of the Order appeared before him, and that member gave him a reason to live again. She tried to save others' lives before her own. The life she managed to save is yours. He's sure that she will find her own reason to live for their sake, if nothing else, and encourages her not to give up. The girl is crying, throws the sharp piece of glass, jumps on him, and hugs him tightly. She cries like a child. Suyuk is thinking about Mirror, that they saved at least one person, like she said, and he will save her too. Suyuk thinks about her and tells her in his mind to please be safe. A few hours earlier, while Katrina stands next to the unconscious Mirror, she expresses her impatience, insisting they should just kill her. She questions why they are keeping the bishop jerk alive, arguing that since they caught her, they might as well finish her off. By doing so, they could easily lure Suyak in and capture him too. Anna, however, is the one giving orders, firmly telling Katrina to do as she says because she already has a plan. With a sharp tone, Anna warns her that unlike Katrina, she actually uses her brain, mockingly calling her a man-crazy jerk. As Anna continues speaking, Katrina, visibly irritated, cuts her off and warns her not to underestimate her. One of Katrina's snakes suddenly lunges at Anna, but Anna swiftly kills it with her bare hand, reminding Katrina that she is the one talking. Furious, Katrina repeats her warning, emphasizing that she already told her not to belittle her. Without hesitation, Katrina launches a full-scale attack, but Anna overpowers her with ease. Anna, now looking down at her, taunts her, saying she's gotten cocky just from drinking a little blood, and even remarks that she's gotten cuter while she wasn't paying attention. If it weren't for her orders, Anna claims she would have killed Katrina already. Suddenly, Katrina feels a sharp pain as a snakehead bites her leg, leaving her in disbelief. Without hesitation, she transforms one of her arms into a mass of writhing snakes, declaring that she never received such orders. With fury, she unleashes all her snakes in an all-out assault, vowing that anyone who dares to anger her will die. However, the woman remains unfazed, mockingly asking if the thing on her shoulders is just for decoration. When Katrina glances at her shoulders, she is horrified to discover that all her snakes are gone. She wonders how a mere 5th squad leader and the 3rd squad leader Lily could do this to her. Katrina understands that she's on another level. Katrina thinks that a vampire at that stage. She calls her a jerk. Katrina says that Suyak was promised to her, and she will put up with her until then. She starts leaving from there and is curious about what she plans to do with that girl. She informs Katrina that when it comes to pest control, she doesn't just mindlessly catch what's right in front of her. Suyak brings that girl to his room and informs her that if she wants to wipe out their entire kind, at the same time, another strong bishop enters their room. He says that he needs to raid their nest and holds a gun in his hands, pointing it at Suyak's head. This bishop is possessed by Katrina, and he is acting on her behalf. He delivers a message from Katrina to him. Suyak wonders how she did that. The bishop delivers the message that the woman is in a place only she knows, and he must go there tonight. The bishop throws a letter at Suyak and warns him that if he doesn't come alone, the woman will die. She will be waiting for him. After delivering the message, the bishop shoots himself in the head and dies, actually destroying the evidence. Other bishops are running toward him, wondering what he's talking about. It's clear to them that she even knows their location. Coco stares at the dead bishop and his gunshot wound. She suggests cleaning it up first. The other team members inform him that they have no choice but to follow her demands. Coco informs him that the person used by Katrina smells like Mirror. They understand that using that operative means they must have just moved Mirror. Suyak is curious to know if Coco can find Mirror right away, and she replies that she can follow the scent. He continues by stating that if that's the case, he'll go to Katrina while Coco rescues Mirror and then meets up with him. Coco immediately disagrees, insisting that she will go after Katrina herself because that jerk killed Ayaka. Suyak, maintaining his composure, explains that he understands her desire for revenge, but without Mirror, the task force will try to kill them. Just as Ayaka was precious to her, Mirror and Coco are the most precious to him right now. With a serious expression, he asks if she can save Mirror. After a brief pause, Coco agrees, turning and sprinting toward Mirror's location. As she departs, she reminds him once again that Katrina is hers to kill. Suyak watches her leave before addressing his team, instructing them to investigate the identity of the task force member from earlier and to provide backup for Coco. He firmly states that he will personally handle Mirror's rescue. As he exits the room, he reminds his team that Mirror will decide how to deal with that vampire later. For now, their priority is to monitor her closely. His team acknowledges the order without hesitation. Turning his gaze toward the new girl, he firmly instructs her to stay put. With a calm tone, she replies with a simple, "Okay." Suyak thinks about Coco, knowing that she probably wants to rush to the one who killed her precious friend. If so, then hurry up, because he too can't guarantee that he will let that woman live. Suyak reaches a church at night and enters. Katrina welcomes him and informs him that he is late for their wedding. Katrina is dressed as a bride and tells him that so many guests have come to their wedding. All the guests are vampires. She is curious to know how the groom could be late. He looks at Katrina and tells her to piss off, starting to shoot her guests in the head. A vampire attacks him from behind, but he dodges it and then attacks, killing it. One of the vampires has a gun, and as he's about to shoot, Suyak kicks him out and then shoots him dead. He then uses a dead vampire as a shield from bullets and continues shooting them. After killing most of them, he runs out of bullets. Another vampire with a gun tries to shoot him, but he dodges the bullet with his speed and kills him with his knife. After that, he kills another with his knife. He warns Katrina that the playtime is over, and she must now tell him about Mirror's location. On the other hand, Katrina is relaxed and admiring his intensity. She suggests he calm down because she didn't call him there to fight. She warns him that if he kills her, Mirror will die too, and the only way to save her is to spend their wedding night together. She places his gun between her breasts. Katrina informs him that, in her human days, the reason for her existence was solely intimacy, and that's all there was for her. Feeling each other's skin and heartbeats, she felt alive, and she would give him her soul if he asked, just so she could hold on to it forever. And she wants to be beautiful and immortal. One day, she was given an offer that, if she desired it, they would give it to her. It was Anna who made the offer after killing her whole village, and she could take it only if she could endure it. And so, she became a vampire. Anna gives her a few drops of her blood to drink, and that's how she gains eternal life. But after that, she starts enjoying a lot of intimacy with young and strong men. After being intimate with those men, she kills them and drinks their blood. She becomes a beautiful monster and eats young men's hearts. She remembers when she killed her second victim after being intimate with him. She was lying next to her victim, covered in his blood. At that time, she thought that this was not what she wanted. And, like before, she did not feel alive anymore. Ultimately, the only thing that can fill her is another vampire. But even the experiments are not progressing. She remembers when someone was knocking at the door, and she tells him not to call her that here. But the person informs her that they have finally found him, the male vampire. They inform her that his name is Suyok, and she wonders what kind of man he is. Because, being a vampire, he should certainly be able to satisfy her. And hopefully his face is also pretty. Katrina has a large collection of men's heads in her house, men with whom she had been intimate and then killed. She explains that eternal life is endlessly boring, so he should give up on revenge and just be with her. She says she will take the lead, and she is good at it. At this point, she starts licking his gun, telling him that he doesn't have to be shy. He informs her that he refuses because someone 100 years older than him is too much for him. She calls him a cheeky bastard. Katrina crushes his gun with her bare hands and informs him that she was going to specially make him her husband. She gets very angry and tells him that she will use him as a plaything forever. Inside a hospital, a Yakuza member informs his friends that this is Lady Katrina, and they must defend the corridor and not let anyone through, especially those Vatican guys. Suddenly, Coco enters the corridor, walking like a cat. A Yakuza wonders if she is a Vatican dog, and she innocently replies, "No English." Coco is sitting on the floor just like a cat. The Yakuza are talking to each other, and she looks a bit dim-witted. Suddenly, the Yakuza start shooting at Coco, but she runs so fast and attacks two of them, killing them before they can shoot a single bullet at her. She shouts at the three remaining Yakuza to stay out of her way. But these men point their guns at her and start shooting again. But Coco is very fast and energetic. She jumps in the air and kills all three of them in the blink of an eye. Soon she enters the operating theater, where a doctor is informing his team to secure as many as possible because this is an important sample. Coco shouts that she found Mirror. Mirror is in a special care center, and the doctor demands to know what she is doing and tells her to get out immediately. But Coco refuses to obey and knocks him out with a single punch. At this point, Coco is carrying Mirror on her back and trying to leave the hospital. Other doctors say they can't let her take it. Coco is thinking that she has to leave quickly. If it weren't for Suyok, she remembers when he told her that he understands she wants revenge. But right now, Mirror and she are the most precious to him, and she needs to save Mirror and come to him. She also remembers when she told him not to forget that she is the one who will kill Katrina. Suddenly, a woman calls Coco's name and wonders if she remembers her because it's been a long time since they last met. She asks if Coco is trying to take that, and if she is, she should ask for permission when taking something that belongs to others. Coco wonders about the identity of that woman. Katrina's snakes are trying to reach our protagonist, but he is shooting them down one by one. He is thinking that it's just like back then. She plans to hold on until he gets tired because the naked heads reappear again and again, and this way, he will just be worn down. But he keeps shooting the snakes. Katrina is saying that he's shooting into thin air and looks like he's getting desperate. With the rising poisonous fog and the constantly approaching snakes, both his mind and body must be at their limits. And this is precisely the perfect time to hunt. There's no use in struggling for him because he is already hers. Suyok informs her that she fell for it. She wonders what he means. As she comes close to him, he takes out his silver knife and attacks her, putting a cut on her face. She wonders what kind of guy this is, and she is sure his mental state isn't normal. He tells her that it's over for her now. Her face starts to swell and she releases poison into the air. He also cuts through her poison with his knife. All her snakes disappear, and she holds her face, which is bleeding. She curses him as a cheeky bastard for toying with her. The random shots everywhere were to clear the poisonous clouds, and acting flustered was meant to show a gap and lure her in. With just one fight at the hotel, he figured out her entire strategy. He warns her to give up because there's nowhere left for her to hide. She calls him a jerk and wonders how dare he leave a scar on her face. On top of that, It won't come off. Katrina gets angry, shouting that this is where she stops showing mercy. He notices that the snakes are gathering around him as he thought. All those snakes are collecting blood. He understands that he can't delay any longer, and before she absorbs everything, a snake suddenly bites his arm. He is surprised at how fast it is, unable to react. She says that it's done now. She will tear off his limbs if she has to, making sure he stays alive when she tortures him. The snake holds him by the neck, and its grip gets stronger and stronger. She informs him that it's a bit early for him to feel pain because she hasn't even started yet. Suyok realizes that he can't move. He uses all his power and cuts off his arm to free himself from the snake's grip. Jumping far away from there, he lies next to a wall thinking he must get a hold of himself. If he breaks here, not only will he fail to avenge his teammates, but he won't even be able to reach Anna. He can't stop now. Katrina attacks him with a spear, and it enters his chest. He thinks that he can't hear anything, wondering if he's not strong enough. In his heart, he apologizes to Coco and Mirror. Katrina warns him that he should have listened when she was being nice. She wonders why he's being such a bother. She hangs him on the wall of the church, informing him not to worry because he's not going to die anyway. She thinks that this scar still hasn't healed. Well, it's fine, because she's got Suyok and the sun will rise soon. She thinks that she should go back and enjoy a meal. At this point, she returns to him and wonders if he's still conscious. She taunts him, saying that he needs to be at least that much to satisfy her. Suyok struggles to release himself from the wall. Katrina is curious to know why he's still struggling. Suddenly, our protagonist's eyes turn red, and Katrina gets scared seeing it, wondering if he possesses those eyes. Suddenly, Suyok's hands grow back, and Katrina gets scared when she sees that his speed is faster than hers, meaning he is stronger than her. He pulls the sword away from his chest and jumps back to the ground. Very quickly, his wounds heal. With a single attack, he cuts off her arm and says that he will never acknowledge her. Katrina watches him in surprise, thinking that she couldn't even react to his attack just then. With a single punch, he throws her far away from him. He looks like a monster right now. Katrina thinks that it's impossible for him to have become this strong in just a few months. Katrina stands up again, calling him lucky, and says that if she had abilities like him, she would have already awakened long ago. At this point, both of them attack each other, but this time, Suyok is much stronger than her. She gets scared when she sees that he can handle her technique so easily. She gets tired, but our boy keeps attacking her again and again with great speed and power. She thinks that there's no way she can win in close combat, so she decides to create some distance. She tries to jump away from him, but Suyok grabs her hand and throws her to the ground with such great power that she loses consciousness for a few seconds. He is standing just in front of her, and she thinks that he is very strong. She is still so far below him. She is still trying to reach her sword with the help of her snakes. After grabbing the sword, she hits him in the eye, and her sword penetrates his eye. Katrina says that no matter how strong he is, this should still be fatal for him. But our boy is a monster because, with a single punch, his arms go through her belly, and she calls him a monster again and again. She understands that, as expected, she can't win against him. On the other side, Lily enters the room, introducing herself as Lily, the new third squad leader. The other female vampire informs her to please take good care of her from now on. She wonders about her identity, and wants to know why she introduced herself as the third squad leader. Lily wonders why she even has that red eye. It looks like the female vampire is very sensitive about her red eye. She wonders if it still hasn't awakened. Suddenly, Lily throws a punch at her red eye and tells her not to get cocky. Lily explains that she was just saying that. But who is she? Is she a squad leader as well? At this point, both girls start throwing punches at each other. The red-eyed vampire says that power is order, and weak people don't deserve to live. She pins Lily down to the ground and warns her, asking if she understands what she's saying to her. Lily thinks that she understands just by looking at her eyes, that no matter the situation, the strong will always win. In the church, Katrina and Suyok are still fighting. Suyok is giving her a strong beating, but suddenly she calls him an insolent brat and shouts at him not to look down on her with those eyes. She attacks him with all her snakes at once and throws him far away from her. She thinks that it's been a long time since she used this power of hers. Our boy gets up again, while Katrina says that she doesn't like using this because it makes her look ugly. But now that he's seen it, he needs to die. Katrina transforms herself into a huge snake. Katrina is half snake and half human, standing face to face with Suyok. Both are running towards each other. Suddenly, she throws her venom at him and informs him that this is the end for him. Even though he can regenerate quickly, she will wipe him out completely. The venom that dissolved his body will turn gaseous, melting him down to every last cell, and he will die writhing in agony. This venom starts working on Suyok, and in a few seconds, it dissolves his flesh completely. She says to him that at this point, they are finally at eye level, even with his gifted abilities. But did he really think he could defeat her? How pathetic he is. As she leaves the church, she notices someone standing behind her. She is curious to know what's going on. She wonders why he hasn't melted down to the bone yet. To her surprise, Suyok is back and about to punch her in the face. She wonders if his regeneration is faster than the melting speed. Outside the church, Coco is coming in a car, shouting for him to hold on. Mirror sits right next to Coco, warning her not to stick her head out, saying Suyok that she's coming and she's dead. Mirror's head is still spinning, and she wonders how long she's been out. She can't remember anything since seeing those guys underground. If what Coco said is true, and Suyok went after the squad leader alone, then he is in danger. She thinks for Suyok to just hang in there. As they reach the church, Coco jumps out of the car and starts running inside. Mirror informs her team to stay back for now. Coco is calling out to Suyok, wondering if he brought her down already. When they reach inside the church, they see everything inside is destroyed. Mirror thinks, so this is the 5th squad leader's ability, and informs Coco that it's better not to get too close. More importantly, where is Suyok? Coco is also wondering about Suyok. Katrina suddenly notices the girls. She wonders why they are here. Because it was Lily's responsibility to keep an eye on them. She only let her guard down for a second, and now he punches her in the face. This time it creates large wounds on her face, and she calls him a damn cockroach, wanting him to die already. Katrina is now lying in the air. Mirror is worried about our boy. Katrina warns her to shut up because she's next. Katrina is still curious about how they got past Lily, but she's determined that she will kill them all first and think later. Suyok is gathering all his powers and attacks her. She thinks with the highest concentration of venom, she will blast them into oblivion. This is the end. Then she throws her powerful venom at him. When her venom hits him, she starts wondering if he vanished. It wasn't Suyok's ability, but instead, this ability is from that red-eyed Lily. Katrina is curious if Lady Anna has given her permission to eliminate her and her useless friend. As Lady Anna planned, Suyok is growing well. Lily says that power is order, and the weak don't deserve to live. Doesn't Katrina understand what she is saying to her? Suddenly, our boy bites Katrina's neck from behind. Katrina thinks that, just like Ayaka and Coco, she has been abandoned too. She decides that she can't let everything be taken away from her like this. She shouts at Suyok to let go of her as he sucks her blood from her neck. Her snake is biting him from behind, but she's worried that everything is slipping away much faster. Is this how she dies? She never wanted any of this. She only wants to live a happy life. She says to Anna that if this was going to happen, then why did Anna give her blood? She doesn't want to die yet, and she's not ready. After that, Katrina falls to the floor. Mirror says that he took down the squad leader alone. But if he's in that state, he might hurt someone. She wonders what she should do next. Suddenly, Coco jumps at Suyok and hugs him. Mirror warns her to get away from him. Coco complains to him, asking why he didn't keep his promise. She keeps repeating it again and again. As Suyok raises his hand at Coco, Mirror warns her again to get away right away. She's about to throw a punch at him, but Suyok puts his hand on Coco's and says that he's sorry because he had no choice, and that he's glad she's safe. At this moment, Suyok lies on the ground, and Coco sits on his belly like a child. Coco wonders if Suyok died. Mirror informs her that he's alive. Suyok wakes up in the hospital, and Mirror is sitting on another bed. Coco just jumped off his bed. Mirror asks if he's conscious. He wonders where he is. Mirror informs him that he's in the medical facility of the task force's hotel. He wants to know about Katrina. Mirror informs him that she's being transported for an autopsy, and it's rare to get a chance to secure a squad leader. Cecilia and other task force members are escorting her, and there's no need to worry. Both are relaxed now. Suddenly, a bag of blood hits Suyok's face. It's Mirror who throws it on him. When he inquires, she informs him that she's trying to cheer him up. He took down a squad leader on his first mission and saved someone too. He did well for a first-timer. He informs her that it wasn't his first time. He's met vampires before and lost. He lost his precious comrades. Sure, he caught the squad leader in the end, but all he remembers is losing to vampires again. If he had messed up, he could have hurt her and his comrades. Coco sits on Mirror's bed and drinks blood from a bag. Mirror informs him that he's changed. He explains that Ayaka was right. Coco gets happy hearing Ayaka's name. Mirror explains that she saw him being conscious even in his berserk state, and he probably grew stronger after drinking Katrina's blood. In his berserk state, he showed immense power, but he was uncontrollable without consciousness. However, after drinking the squad leader's blood, he showed signs of consciousness. If he can control that power and use it himself, he will definitely become stronger. This is just a hypothesis, but she thinks his growth is shown in his eyes. She continues, saying that unlike his eyes at the moment, as a growing vampire, they have definitely changed. Based on this, the next stage of growth would be red eyes with black sclera, the reverse eyes. He's curious about the black eyes. Coco says she's seen those black eyes before. Mirror confirms that it's true, it was that squad leader. Suyak inquires from Coco if she knows anything about those eyes. She replies that she doesn't know. Mirror gets angry at Coco, questioning why she claims to have seen them if she knows nothing. Coco innocently responds, asking if she really said that. He reflects that even for a squad leader, vampires at that stage must be rare, and if they can regenerate a severed arm that quickly, it's not a common ability. Considering the circumstances, Coco points at Mirror and explains that she thought she was being helpful. Mirror's deduction seems plausible, and he figures she's not a bishop for nothing. Mirror thanks him, but grows curious about the sudden gratitude. He explains that thanks to her, his distracting thoughts are gone, and expresses appreciation for trusting him and following the plan. She remarks that anyone would think he's the leader, and of course someone's solo act complicated things. She wonders if they should have abandoned the hostages. He tells her to relax, adding that he's just kidding. She acknowledges that, regardless, things went according to plan. She feels irritated because he's trying to position himself as her equal, and ultimately, she just needs to get stronger. Suyak taunts her, remarking that they know that method too, confirming with Coco that they probably do. Outside room 1703, Lucia assumes that Mirror shared everything because of Suyak's plan. She reflects on how Mirror nearly died and feels indignant that he dared to put Sister Mirror in danger. Lucia confronts Mirror about the issue, insisting that she needs her blood. As Lucia is about to open the door, she hears Suyak inside, where he tells Coco to be gentle because it's his first time. Lucia interprets this to mean that it really is his first time. Her mind drifts to an image of Suyak and Coco engaging in intimacy, with Coco softly asking him to be gentle. She muses that even vampires do it too. She feels sympathy for Mirror, who lies in the hospital while Suyak is already involved with Coco. Lost in these thoughts, Lucia collapses onto the floor. Inside the room, Suyak is sucking Coco's blood, and she mentions that she feels strange. Coco asks how long he plans to keep going. Outside, Lucia imagines that during intercourse, Coco is posing the same question. After everything Mirror endured for Suyak, Lucia feels deeply saddened. She knocks on the door and shouts that Suyak is so bad and says she's going to tell Sister Mirror everything. Lucia is crying and running away. Suyak and Coco are wondering what Lucia means by saying all this. 1 month later at Task Force Hotel in the Korean branch, Mirror and Suyak are training with their swords. Mirror charges at him with her sword, warning him that he got lucky with Katrina. But to face future enemies, he needs full control over his abilities. If he really only relies on fortune, he'll never improve. And if he can't bring out his reverse eye, she directly attacks his arm and severs it from his body. She informs him that they will have to force it out. After cutting off his arm, she puts her sword right through his chest. The sword goes deep, and he starts bleeding. Mirror tells him that based on when his reverse eye appeared, the likely trigger is blood depletion. He'll soon lose consciousness. Lucia and Coco are watching Mirror cut off Suyak's arm. He's sitting on the floor, bleeding heavily. Mirror informs him that if he wants to control the reverse eye, he just needs to hang in there. At this moment, Mirror looks worried as he falls to the ground, and it seems like he's about to die. After a few seconds, Suyak gets up. This time he has gained his reverse eyes. His eyes are red, and he roars like a lion at Mirror. She's not impressed at all, calling it another failure. Suddenly, his arm regenerates, and he starts charging at Mirror with killer aggression. Quickly, Lucia creates a protective wall around him, forcing him to stay inside. Mirror observes him, and when he starts looking normal, she informs him that he's awake now. Lucia asks Mirror about the number of failures today. Mirror confirms that it's number 10. Lucia shows her concern that they're running out of blood packs and wonders if it's really okay to keep going like this. Suyak says that he needs to get the reverse eye under control before the next mission. Mirror is concerned about their next mission and advises that to avoid leaking information, Katrina destroyed all her labs in Russia. But before that, she seems to have moved all her drugs and test subjects abroad. The task force has already started tracking her, and once they secure the location, their squad will be deployed. Lucia wonders, speaking of test subjects, if she remembers the nun they rescued was Russian. Suyak feels sad remembering that innocent girl. Bishop Dominic advises that even though she is a vampire, they determined she is not dangerous. Dominic agreed to take care of her until they confirm her church records. As she was leaving, the nun asked to tell them both that she was very thankful for saving her life and giving her a new life. While saying this, she starts crying. Suyak thinks that saving a life is great, but if he had been stronger, he could have saved more lives that day. There were many other girls in that laboratory, and Mirror would have been safe, and Katrina wouldn't have been able to take her that day. He warns them that the next enemy will be stronger than Katrina, so he has to get stronger. Suyak is ready for more training with Mirror. Mirror is happy to see his determination and says she loves his fighting spirit. This time he attacks Mirror first, and she counters with her sword. Coco is getting very bored while watching them fight for so long. After the training session, Suyak and Coco are in their bedroom, lying on their beds. He's thanking Coco for her hard work every time. Coco replies that it's really nothing. Coco wonders why he's asking her to take off her clothes. Suyak informs her that this way he can feel her better. Coco is completely nude, lying on the bed with Suyak on top of her. They're holding each other. He tells Coco that he's sorry. Coco wonders what he's talking about. He explains that he went after Katrina alone, because she must have wanted to kill Katrina more than anyone, but he sent her to save Mirror instead. Coco understands and remains calm. Now Coco informs him that she has a favor to ask. Suyak wonders what kind of favor she wants from him. Suddenly Coco pushes him onto the bed with great force, and he wonders what she's doing. Now, Coco is sitting on top of him, telling him that she wants to suck too. Suyak is surprised to hear that because before this, he was sucking Coco's blood. Coco tells him that he went to Katrina alone. She was really angry, but if she had gone to Katrina, she would have died right away because Katrina was much stronger and more dangerous than her. Coco demands that she get stronger too. She reminds him that he had said Mirror and Coco are precious to him, so she will make an exception for him. She'll make him her underling and protect him. Coco is very excited while talking to Suyak. Suyak thinks that after seeing his fight with Katrina, did she feel powerless? Even with her enemy right in front of her, she must have felt frustrated, unable to do anything. So those words mean she will make him her friend. He wonders if that's true. He decides to allow Coco to suck his blood, so he informs her that she can now suck his blood because they're already friends. He tells her to go ahead and start sucking. At first Coco is surprised, but then she becomes very happy. She's thinking about how grateful she is for his permission. Coco goes straight to his neck and starts sucking his blood from there. Now Coco is lying on top of him, sucking his blood. Suyak is thinking that sharing his blood might slow his growth, but it's alright because they're friends now. Coco is holding him while lying on top of him and sucking his blood. Outside their room, Lucia hears Coco sucking his blood. She thinks about the conversation between Coco and Suyak, where he allows her to suck his blood by saying she wants to. So go ahead. Lucia's nose starts bleeding again, thinking about what on earth is going on here. On the other side, doctors are examining Katrina's body and are surprised to find that her vital organs are missing. They soon discover that this is not a corpse, and the 5th squad leader is alive somewhere. The doctor quickly informs his assistant to contact Lady Cecilia. Outside the hospital, a masked young lady is walking toward the security guards. One of the guards notices her and inquires about the kid. The guard orders her to leave, saying this isn't a place for her to wander into. She replies to the guard to shut up. The guards are scared to see her eyes. She demands that they inform their boss right now that Katrina is here. Her eyes are bright red and glowing in the darkness. The guards take Katrina to their boss. Inside a room, a female vampire asks who is there and informs Katrina that she has changed a lot since the last time they met. That vampire is Nanayama Yakuza 4th Squad Vice Captain, and her name is Natalie. Another vampire warns Katrina that she always told her not to get cocky by relying only on vampire abilities. She is Nanayama Yakuza 4th Squad Vice Captain, and her name is Berenice. The third female vampire informs her that she needs to train her body too, as she is a very muscular girl. She is Nanayama Yakuza 4th Squad Leader, and her name is Abigail. Katrina shouts at them and tells them to shut up. She continues, saying that if it wasn't for Lily, this wouldn't have happened. Actually, at this moment, Katrina has turned into a child after losing to Suyak. As she is Nanayama Yakuza 5th Squad Leader, she explains that she almost died from having all her blood drained, but barely managed to escape by hiding in the poison mist. Abigail inquires if Katrina is here, then who is in the lab in Russia. Katrina explains that Katrina Nim blew it up. Berenice informs her that there was an order from Anna to destroy all facilities and eliminate evidence, and all data is being transferred to her lab. Abigail confirms that she understands. Katrina informs them that every time she sees him, he is so competent, and more about him is that he was the one who created Bloody Snow. Abigail confirms that, of course, she personally picked him as her subordinate, and they are all elites. Suddenly, Natalie gets so close to Katrina that her saliva falls on Katrina's head. She wonders about the elites. Berenice guesses that it's fascinating to see her shrunk and wonders why she is here, and if Ayaka is near her. Curious to know if it's true. Katrina confirms it and requests Natalie to get her head off of her as she is dropping saliva on her head. After that, Katrina informs Abigail that her disciple Ayaka is dead. After hearing that, Abigail gets very angry and wants to know about her killer. Katrina informs her who else could it be, the one who did this to her. Katrina warns them that he is targeting the squad leaders, and since he attacked her, they are probably next. Abigail wonders if they shouldn't take some measures. Katrina understands that surely she would want to avenge her disciple, but actually, she killed her. She informs them that after Suyak did this to her, they must understand that she would be safe. Katrina knows it very well that, unlike her, Abigail is a battle weapon who has been through countless wars. She is a living weapon, and Katrina wants to use her to kill Suyak. An anonym, She wants to completely ruin that jerk Anna's plans. Abigail says that it doesn't matter because she is not going to avenge her, because he killed her disciple, and anyone can die on the battlefield. Ayaka died because she was weak. Rather than attacking recklessly, it is more advantageous to defend here. Katrina is getting angry, thinking why this battle-crazed maniac considers Anna's order the priority here. Katrina tells them that then it doesn't matter. Natalie inquires from Katrina if that guy was really that strong. She explains that it's not that he was strong, but she just didn't expect it because he is a newly turned vampire. Abigail is curious and asks if she didn't think he would have those red eyes. She needs confirmation that it wasn't the bishop who got her. Katrina replies, when did she ever say that? Suddenly, Abigail gets very aggressive with Katrina and grabs her by the neck. Katrina wonders why she is suddenly doing this, but Abigail is angry and orders her to shut up and just answer her questions. She wants to know Suyak's location. On the other side, Mirror is surprised to know that Katrina is alive. Lucia confirms that news to her, saying that it's the autopsy results Cecilia uploaded. Mirror can't believe it, as they all saw it together. Coco is also shocked to know that Katrina is still alive. Mirror explains to him that now he comes to think of it, he said that he couldn't use Katrina's ability. Could it be because Katrina is still alive? Suyak replies that it's a possibility, but considering he could maintain his consciousness in the reverse eye state, it is clear that he stole the power Ayaka mentioned. But to gain an ability, there are certain conditions that need to be met. Mirror wonders that, unlike Ayaka's ability, he can't use Katrina's ability. Coco is curious and asks what the difference is between the two. Coco feels a little uncomfortable, and everyone notices it. He is curious to know if something is wrong with Coco. Coco informs him that she has smelled this scent before. Suyak wants to know from Coco what scent she is talking about and who she is smelling. Two men are walking towards the entrance of the hotel. One of them is asking the other if he happens to know Suyak. It's Abigail, who is curious about him. The young man is a guard at the hotel and recognizes Abigail as a vampire. He challenges her, asking how dare she come here, and pulls his gun on her. But Abigail, with a single punch, destroys his head and kills him. She tells him to shut up and keep it down. The second charges at her with his silver knife. While charging at her, he says he will crush her to die. He hits her chest with his knife and is happy that he hit it right in the heart. But the knife doesn't penetrate her skin. She wonders what he is doing, holds his knife from its edge, and informs him that she is not interested in small fry. With her strong grip, she breaks his knife into small pieces. Now she demands answers to her questions from him. She asks about Suyak. Inside the hotel, Suyak senses that something is wrong. Suddenly, a guard comes running to him, calling Mirror and Lucia's names. He informs them that a Nanayama Yakuza is attacking. Mirror orders them to move immediately and wants to know the enemy's strength. He is surprised to hear that there is only one person. Outside the hotel, Abigail is talking to the injured guards, wondering why they attacked when they were so weak. She came here knowing everything. So, she will ask one last time, where is Suyak? A few seconds later, more guards arrive to stop Abigail. She is not impressed by the large number of guards and their guns. She simply asks them if they are not going to inform her about him. It doesn't matter. She announces that until that guy shows up, she will just have to kill everyone. Abigail points at the dead guards and warns the last remaining guard that whether this one or that one, they are all so weak. If this is all the so-called death squad can do, she could bring them down with just her army. She stands right in front of a wounded guard, addressing him by calling him soldier. In his next life, she hopes he is born strong, right before killing him with her swords. As she is about to kill him, suddenly an explosion happens, and she is thrown away from him. She wonders if it's holy power and if there is a bishop. It's Lucia, who throws her away with her holy powers. At this moment, she calls Mirror to attack. Mirror jumps into the air with her large sword in hand, and with all her strength, she attacks Abigail, who stops it with her two swords. Abigail smiles at Mirror and then pushes her away. Mirror stands right in front of the wounded guard and inquires about his safety, to which he replies that he is good, thanks to her. At this point, Mirror is curious to know about Abigail's abilities from the guard, who replies that he's not sure about the details, but after she cuts her own arm, a sword is created instantly. It's a weapon creation ability, and Mirror understands. She informs him to fall back and report to the sanctum, to which he replies that he understands. Abigail is happy and says that the bishop is here, and now this is finally starting to get interesting. When Suyak reaches there, Abigail confirms that and says, at last, she has found him. Lucia, Mirror, and Suyak are now facing her. Abigail is happy to see him. She informs him that she heard from Katerina that he is targeting the captains, and on top of that, he already has that eye. Suyak notices that Katerina is alive. Abigail is curious because she doesn't know why he has that eye, but now that she knows, she can't help but want to fight him. Suddenly, Coco appears, sniffing her. Coco calls Abigail's name, and Abigail is surprised to see Coco here. Abigail wonders why Coco is here and if they aren't her friend's enemies. Mirror is curious and asks Coco that if she is going to recognize them by looking, why is she sniffing? She wonders if they know each other. After looking at Abigail's swords, Coco quickly grabs Suyok's hand and inquires if she is here to capture Suyok too. Coco informs her that Suyok is her subordinate. Abigail is curious and asks why she calls him her subordinate. Coco informs Abigail that she appreciates what Abigail did for Ayaka, but she won't take anything else from Coco anymore, and she won't take anything away. Abigail informs Coco that the friend she went through all that trouble to protect has joined forces with her enemies. Abigail thinks that Ayaka's life is, for sure, tragic. Mirror challenges Abigail by calling her a vampire and says that no matter how much of a captain she is, on this side, they have 2 bishops and 2 captain-level vampires. She says Abigail has no idea what she is dealing with, and that she has committed such acts. Mirror tells her not to even think about dying peacefully. Abigail smiles at her and threatens that just because she is a captain doesn't mean she is the same as every other captain. If Mirror thinks it's going to be a joke, then don't worry. In a blood-soaked battlefield, she is invincible. After saying that, she puts both her hands on the ground and large spikes fill the area. Mirror and her team jump away to save themselves from the spikes, which only grow where there is blood on the ground. Mirror is surprised to see thorns rising from the ground, and realizes it's not just a weapon creation ability. Lucia orders her team to fall back because the thorns are coming out of the blood puddle, and if they run to a place without blood, they'll be safe. Suddenly, Abigail appears behind Lucia, very close, and is about to attack her with her axe. Abigail manages to hit Lucia with her axe and injure her. Mirror is shocked to see her friend being injured. Abigail tells Lucia that her observation skills were good, but she should have controlled the distance better. Abigail asks who's next. Mirror gets very angry and says she dares not harm Lucia. Suddenly, Coco jumps and holds Abigail from behind, giving Suyok the perfect chance to attack. He quickly hits Abigail with his knife and knocks her out. Mirror calls Abigail a bastard and informs Suyok about the danger, but he tells Mirror to calm down. If she doesn't, she will end up like her. He tells her he will buy them some time, so she should take care of Lucia first. Lucia lies on the floor, bleeding and about to lose her senses. Mirror tells Lucia to stay awake. Mirror looks at Lucia as she is losing a lot of blood and thinks this is bad because the wound is too deep and the bleeding is too severe. Mirror puts her hand on Lucia's wound and uses her holy powers to try to heal it. She says she will try to stop the bleeding as much as possible with her divine power, but it will only delay death. At this stage, until reinforcements arrive, Suyok has to buy time. He thinks he hit Abigail just in case, but now it's confirmed. He hasn't awakened yet. It seems like it only manifested once, and she was hoping to fight someone strong for once. Suyok wonders what she means by awakening. Abigail smiles and informs him that from now on, she will kill every human in this hotel. Suyok is surprised to hear that. He understands that showing that eye means he has used his awakening ability. Abigail informs him that if he wants to stop her, he will have to use that ability somehow. Abigail is walking towards the mirror and informing her that she should start with the sword-wielding bishop. Suyok is thinking about her, how she's a formidable opponent due to her tough skin. Even silver knives don't work, and his blade cracks when it hits her. Suyok thinks that, as expected, he has no choice but to use that. No, if he messes up, he could hurt Lucia. Until backup arrives, they have no choice but to buy time. So, he informs Coco to attack her. He and Coco both charge at Abigail. She warns Coco that if she isn't going to take this seriously, she should step aside because she's not interested. Coco is serious and leaps at her. After striking Abigail, she jumps away. Both Abigail and Suyok are fascinated by Coco's speed. Suyok wonders if it's because she absorbed blood compared to when he first saw her. She's gotten much faster. It looks like she's everywhere, surrounding Abigail from all directions. Abigail starts gathering her dark powers. Suyok decides that he and Coco will take her down together, so he attacks her too. She attacks Suyok with her weapon, but he stops it with his arm. He grabs her weapon from her and punches her so hard that it knocks her out. Abigail is surprised to find out that he knows Krav Maga. She tries to block his next punch with both hands and her weapon, but instead of a punch, Suyok throws a hard kick at her face, sending her flying far away from him. She barely manages to stabilize herself. Suyok is confident that he can handle this. He thinks her main ability is weapon formation, and if the fighting style she used just now belongs to humans, then he won't lose to a human opponent. He's confident he can definitely win. At this moment, Abigail attacks him with her magical weapon, and he dodges her. Suyok observes that her movements are different from before. She's creating a circle around her with the fast movement of her weapon. He thinks he needs to create some distance. Suddenly, he gets hit by Abigail's spear in the head. Suyok is bleeding from one eye and is sitting on the ground. He quickly realizes that she wasn't fighting seriously until now. Abigail warns him again that this is his choice. The battle belongs to the strong, and she's not interested in someone who can't control their own power. From the side, Coco attacks her, and surprisingly this time, Abigail stops her with her hand and throws Coco away very easily. Coco shouts at her that she won't forgive her for bullying Suyok. Coco attacks Abigail again from behind, but Abigail informs her that she's certainly gotten faster. However, her patterns are predictable, and she holds her spear right in front of Coco. As Coco jumps at her, she fears that she's going to get stabbed by the spear. But suddenly Suyok pushes Coco away from the spear and saves her life. Coco thinks she's going to die. This time, while saving Coco, Suyok gets stabbed in the chest. Abigail asks him that even after all this, he still can't use it. Her spear goes straight through his chest, and he's now on his knees. Abigail calls him a boring guy. Suyok lies unconscious on the ground. Coco is sitting next to him, crying and begging him to wake up. Abigail walks away, repeatedly calling for Suyok to get up. Suddenly, Suyok gets up, and Coco becomes very happy. He informs Coco to take care of Lucia and Mirror and stay far away from him because he's in his monster mood now. As Abigail walks away, she feels someone coming after her, thinking it's Coco. She turns back and tells Coco that she's not interested in her and is sparing her for old time's sake, ordering her to just go away. But when she still feels someone behind her, she thinks that she's as foolish as ever. When she turns back, she's surprised to see a very strong Suyok getting up from the ground. Abigail wonders about this power. It's stronger than before. What on earth did he do? Abigail is happy that he finally brought out his awakened ability. She smiles at the red-eyed Suyok.